J. Hill, 6-yard touchdown catch. Right sideline and down he goes to the end zone.
WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
Playoffs. All right, everybody, welcome in. Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Well, as we are inching closer and closer to, of course, the college football playoff games kicking off this Friday, already some COVID news coming out. The offensive coordinator, Kev, for Clemson will be out on Friday in the Sugar Bowl matchup between the Buckeyes and Clemson coming up already. And again, things are a little bit too quiet. I hope that's the last we hear of any kind of COVID impact for this matchup. I want everyone completely healthy. I want Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. I want both offensive lines healthy. I want all the running backs, the defensive backs, linebackers. I want everyone ready to go. I want Ryan Day and Dabo Swinney on the sideline. I want everyone ready to go for this. And already, right off the bat, we're hearing here on a Wednesday, offensive coordinator going to be out for Clemson coming up on Friday.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with Tony Elliott, he's a young, hotshot offensive coordinator for Clemson. He's the play caller. It's his offense. He's the number one guy for them. He's been up for several coaches' jobs the last couple of years, turned them down, and he's looking to make a big power move, not go to, like how we were talking about yesterday, go to a mid-level school and work his way up. He wants to make a big splash, so that's why he's still at Clemson right now. So he's a hot shot coach out there, and being without their play caller is going to affect him.
Absolutely. So let's dive into, we're going to open up the show. And again, happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great day. But we want to open up with a little confidence meter. What is the confidence level like for certain players and coaches as we head into the 2020 college, I should say 2021, technically, college football playoffs? As you know,
I always have issues with that. I don't know what is what.
Yeah, it was like, well, they won it in 2014 for the 2013 season. Yeah. They won it in 2014, right? Or was it in 2015? What was the date?
It doesn't matter. 15.
But it always drives me nuts.
It was the 14 season.
Why can't we just move it up 2 weeks, the start of the season, 2 weeks, crown a champion before New Year's? I mean, it drives me up the wall. But either way, so heading into Friday, a little confidence meter. We're going to go down the list. Let's start things off with on a scale of 1 to 10, Kev. And again, we are live on Facebook. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, jump in. You can list your confidence meter rating for these individuals as we go down the list as well. And by the way, bowl games going on now as we speak. Wisconsin up 35-21, and looks like they're taking, what is that, a pick six?
Pick six, his fourth of the day.
A pick six. So an interception, and it brought down to the 3. So there's that. But anyway, so
they'll be scoring in the next play.
Wisconsin up 35-21 over Wake Forest, looking to go up 42-21. But I digress. All right, confidence meter. Let's start things off on a scale of 1 to 10. How confident should Ryan Day be heading into this matchup with Clemson on Friday night? Year 2 for Ryan Day is 0 for 1 against Dabo Swinney, as we talked about yesterday, looking for that first Big Ten win. 2 Big Ten championships, 2 college football playoff appearances in the first 2 years for Ryan Day. Still looking for that big staple win that's going to put him up, that's going to cement him up there with the Nick Sabans and with, of course, the Dabo Swinneys. He needs this one on Friday. On a scale of 1 to 10, the confidence meter for Ryan Day should be what?
6, because anybody that thinks that this is going to be a blowout either way has another thing coming. Clemson is very good. Ohio State's very good, but you should definitely feel confident because you're a great play caller and you have great offensive weapons. So you shouldn't be quivering in your boots, but you should be aware that, hey, man, we're going to have a tough task on our hands. So I would say a 6.
For me, I think Ryan Day, it's at a 5. I know that's like a very, it's a down the middle answer. And Robert Miller on Facebook, by the way, he jumps in on the conversation and he also says 5. So the confidence meter for Ryan Day, Scale of 1 to 10, where would you have Ryan Day at right now? You say 6. I say a 5. The reason it's right down the middle is because you know what you're capable of. You know what you can do, but you also know what Clemson's capable of, and you also know what Clemson did to you last year. A lot of your main hitters are back.
Yeah.
You can sit there and say, well, they don't have J.K. Dobbins, but Trey Sermon has come on huge over the last couple of weeks and really complimented Master Teague. Like, the running game is very, very strong. You bring back your entire offensive line. Your passing game, you actually have more weapons than you did a year ago in the passing game. Like, on paper, this Buckeye offense should be better than what it was a year ago. So you should have confidence there. But you have confidence with what's on paper, but you also have in the back of your mind, the offense kind of gets disrupted a little bit easier than what we would be comfortable with. We've seen Indiana disrupt Justin Fields in this offense. We've seen Northwestern do it. So that's going to be the thing. But I think that the reason he should be a little bit more positive than 5 is mainly because they proved the other night that they don't have to only beat you with the pass game. They can beat you with the run game as well. I guess that's one thing that in mid-conversation that's hitting me right now. They are not a pass-only team. They're not a one-dimensional team. They're a well-balanced offense. But I think Ryan Day, he's going to have to commit to that run earlier and not wait. I mean, he can't wait until late in the second quarter or the second half before he realizes that the pass game's not there and has to commit to the run. I think you commit to the run early and then see what opens up from there. But I'm still going to stick at a 5. I still think there's not doubt, but there's a lot of uncertainty for Ryan Day heading into this matchup.
You know, the thing about Coach Day is he's a former quarterback. And one thing about former quarterbacks, they like to throw the ball because they were quarterbacks. They like to throw it around a lot. And that's one of the things that I notice he tends to do. He tends to get pass happy because he's a quarterback. Let's throw it around a little bit. Let's have some fun. Let's use some of these weapons I got, man. Let's show off our arm talent and everything like that. But if you watch, like I did yesterday, I rewatched the first half of the Fiesta Bowl last night. I didn't watch the whole game. I didn't want to cry at the end of the night. They were running the ball heavily. And in the second half, that's when they started getting pass happy. And I really hope Coach Day really comes out aggressive with the run and look to be running Justin Fields as well. Let's use some of that zone read. Let's use some of those quarterback draws and things of that nature. Get the numbers in our favor with our athletic quarterback. This is do or die. This isn't halfway through the season where you have to protect Justin Fields. If you don't win, there's no tomorrow. So it's all about this game. So everything should be on the table. Quarterback draws, quarterback runs, every play in the playbook should be there at coach's disposal. And I really, truly think he's going to use that running game because I don't think Clemson has seen an offensive line like the Buckeyes provide. And I really think a year ago. and your guy, Dobbins, went crazy. He went crazy. He went, like $180 in 3 quarters?
170 on 18 carries, 174 yards, and the touchdown, but nearly averaged 10 yards a carry.
Yeah. And missed most of the third quarter?
Yeah, but just, a couple
Stick
drops.
with it.
Yeah, that was
How many
tough.
carries did he have?
Only 18. It's not like they pounded the rock. Like, he should have probably had, you give him 10 more carries. You give him 25 carries. He's at least at 225 yards wise and probably another score. So they have to focus on the run. And Trey Sermon and Master Teague combined. Master Teague last year had 7 carries in this game for 9 yards. Again, the run game was not. Outside of J.K. Dobbins, even Justin Fields in last year's matchup against Clemson, he ran the ball 14 times for only 13 yards.
He had the bum knee, and in college, for some strange reason, sack yardage is equal into your rushing yards and all that type of stuff. I just really believe that they really need to focus on the run game, and that running back needs to be Trey Sermon. He has more wiggle to his game. He has more explosiveness to his game than Master Teague at this moment. So I really want to look to the run game. And I know he wants to drop back and pass and use Olave and Garrett. And, we might even get a tight end sighting this game. That would be nice. But I really think we need to pound the rock, man. Pound that rock, and we can win this football game.
All right, if you're just tuning in, Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash with you here. The confidence meter going down some of the biggest names in the college football playoff that officially kicks off coming up this Friday. You have Notre Dame and Alabama, Ohio State, and Clemson. So Ryan Day, on a scale of 1 to 10 and the confidence meter, Kev has him at a 6. I have him at a 5. Let's go back to the Facebook reaction. Again, Robert Miller on Facebook says Ryan Day, put him at a 5. Charles Tackett. Charles says only team in the country to average 250 yards rushing and passing. I'm at a 6. I agree. I really, the criticism of this team all year, it's not really criticism, but it's been like, yeah, but the run game's not as good. The run game's very, very good. It just doesn't look as sexy as a year ago. And had Trey Sermon had a breakout game earlier in the year, maybe we appreciate it more. But I think that game could not have come at a better time.
And I hope they needed it.
And I hope it gets their attention. Now, I don't think that's one of those things where that's not who he is. I don't expect 300 yards rushing from him by any means. But I do believe that he has to be a central part, the main focus of that offense, him and obviously Master Teague as well. Next up on the confidence meter, we'll stick with the Buckeyes, Justin Fields. So we have Ryan Day at a 5 and a 6. I said 5, you said 6. On a scale of 1 to 10, confidence meter wise, Justin Fields, where do you put him on your confidence meter?
Okay, this is 2-part for me. I'm going to give you what how he feels confident. I think he is coming in at a 10 personally. But I believe his confidence should be about a 6 as well. They were able to move the ball last year against that vaunted Clemson defense. And everything that we know about Clemson is their defense isn't as good as it was last year, just like ours. You know what I mean? So like you're talking about drop passes in the red zone. Imagine if JK doesn't drop those passes in the end zone. And I know that's what Fields is thinking as well. Like, man, he doesn't drop that pass, that's another touchdown. Or if Olave continues his route, that's a game-winning touchdown. Like, we move the ball up and down the field on him all game long. Why should this Friday be any different? So, you know what? I'm bumping it up to a 7 for Fields.
I'm going to say 4. I don't think he's very confident at all. The last 3 big games he's played in, he's had his worst performances. I think he didn't play horribly in the Fiesta Bowl against Clemson, but he did not play well after they were up 16-0. And you look at what Venables did and changed up how they attacked him defensively. In fact, I think that's how Indiana Northwestern took a lot of notes of how to attack him. He doesn't do well under pressure. Yeah. I do think we're going to be focused
on slot blitz.
Yeah, we're going to be. By the way, that talking point right there with the NFL draft around the corner, that's going to be a main talking point. And there's going to be a lot of right now. A lot of teams and scouts are going to be watching how he handles Clemson's attack, and maybe even in the national title game if they get there against Alabama, most likely. So they're going to be looking at how he handles that blitz. But he did not play well in the second half against Clemson. The last image he has is throwing the interception. I don't care if it was miscommunication. The bottom line is you threw an interception. That's on the quarterback regardless. And then Indiana, another good pass rush defense. And he had multiple interceptions against them, multiple interceptions against Northwestern. So I think that, it's easy to say, well, he's looked good for the majority of the season. Yes, against the Marylands against the Rutgers of the world, not Maryland, but the Rutgers of the world and them. So I do think that there is a little bit of hesitancy here. He had a quote earlier in the week that said that he hasn't prepared for any game this year like he is for this one. Because, and again, you could slice that up how you want. I mean, I was like, well, yeah, it showed. But no, in all seriousness, I think he knows. I mean, for one, he knows how big of a game this is. This is going to be his biggest test of this season, and it's going to be the second biggest test of his career at Ohio State, because this is the biggest game. This could be it. Justin Fields' last game as a Buckeye could potentially be this Friday. He would love to extend his Buckeye career by one more week. Right. And I think a lot's on there. But no, I think he's ready, and I think he's gearing up for this game. But I don't know about confidence. I'm going to say confidence is at a 4. But you moved it from him. For me, it's at a 4. I'm not very confident.
I gave both. How do you think he should be feeling? I mean, you said 4, but how do you think he's feeling going into this game?
I think 7 or 8 is fair, because he's going to be very confident in himself and what he knows he's capable of. But I also think there's going to be some mistakes made where in the back of his head, he remembers the last time he played Clemson. He remembers, how he, looked against Northwestern and Indiana. If he gets that pressure in his face, that's where I'm concerned. So if you're Clemson, how much pressure do you put on him in the early going? Do you ease him into it, or do you put the pressure on him right away?
Send the dogs
right off the bat.
Like, why wait? Don't let them get in rhythm. Send them in. Hit them hard, hit them high, hit them low if I'm the other team.
All right, we're live on Facebook. Head to Facebook, jump in on the conversation, search the Justin Kinner Show. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident should Justin Fields be heading in to this matchup on Friday night with Clemson? Real quick, Steve Stetler on Facebook says that the key will be if Clemson gets to Fields, he does not perform well under pressure. Yeah, Steve jumping in on that. We're basically what we just were discussing as well. That's going to be key. When Justin Fields has time to throw, and that's the other thing too. We thought with this offensive line, he would have plenty of time to throw. And this offensive line at times has look like they've taken a step back. I don't understand. Have they changed the play calling because they have Chris Olave and because they have attacks down the field that they're maybe taking longer for plays to develop? I mean, what else could you think is going on? Some of this offensive line can't protect him like they did a year ago.
I don't necessarily think it's the offensive line protecting him. I think they're doing a good job protecting him as well as the running backs. But Fields holds on to the ball long. He holds on to the ball long, trying to make that big play and that play downfield. Another thing about the Ohio State offense versus last year, they're running two receivers. They run two receivers. Sometimes they go to a three receiver set, but last year they were always 3-4 wide receivers out there, and the underneath route, it was always there with J.K. Hill. Nobody's taking that J.K. Hill spot to, be that guy on third down running those drag routes and underneath routes. It's really downfield passes and deep crossers and things of that nature. And those plays take longer to develop. And what he's not doing is using his checkdowns to his running backs and to his tight ends. So those are things that Justin not only needs to work on and needs to be accountable for this game, but in his future in the NFL. Use the checkdown. You got a ton of weapons out here. Just check it down. Check it down like he was checking down to Dobbins on the last drive last year, getting 10, 15-yard chunks. Just check it down.
Yeah, keep in mind, and this is an interesting comment coming in from Charles. I had this in my notes to get into later on, that if Justin Fields does not play well this Friday, I said, this could be the last we see of Justin Fields in a Buckeye uniform. Maybe it won't be. Here's Charles. Charles, where'd that comment go? There it is. Charles Tackett says, Fields will return next year if he has a bad game. He wants to be the number one pick. I haven't ruled this out necessarily, mainly because he has dropped significantly. Like there's other quarterbacks that have passed him in these latest mock drafts, which you can wipe your behind with these mock drafts. I get it, but there's some credence to that. If you act like these scouts aren't going to look at these games that Fields has had against this pass rush and act like that's not going to be a concern for teams, especially taking him high, he might want to come back another year. And try to redeem that and establish that credibility back, because he was looked at as 1A and 1B, and it's Trevor Lawrence 1A, and we're trying to figure out if he's B or C or D.
Trey Lance.
Yeah. The Wilson kid too. So, there's a lot of good quarterbacks.
The kid from Alabama. So, there's other guys out there. Trask I've seen him rise and everything like that.
And depending what Mac Jones does, Mac Jones can have a killer 2 games here against Notre Dame and either Clemson or Ohio State, and all of a sudden, I don't think he's going to challenge Lawrence for the number 1 overall pick, but anything can happen after that first overall pick. This is starting to remind me of the draft that Baker came out in, where there's just 4 or 5 good quality quarterbacks. And that's kind of what's going on right here. Last year's was, outside of Joe Burrow, it just was not a good quarterback class. It just wasn't.
You don't think so?
Outside of Joe Burrow, no.
Herbert? Your boy? Herbert?
That was a sneaky one. Think about going in. Tua's not the Tua that, I was confident in Tua. If Tua doesn't get hurt, it's a totally different story. Tua doesn't get hurt coming in. I think a lot of people passed up on him. I'm still curious. I know everyone says it was a lock. You look at Tua now, and it's easy to say, no, the Bengals made the right decision. Tua doesn't get hurt at Alabama, and he goes on to run the rest of the season and win a national championship. I don't think it's as easy as what everyone thinks of taking Burrow over Tua. It's easy to say now because Tua doesn't look as good in the pros. I was wrong there about that. But I wasn't wrong about Justin Herbert. But that's another conversation for another day. All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Of course, we're jumping into right now the confidence meter game. Let's continue it now. Let's move on. We've talked about Ryan Day. We've talked about Justin Fields. Head to Facebook, by the way. Search the Justin Kinner Show. In the comment section, you can give your answer and your analysis there as well. On a scale of 1 to 10, we're going down some of the biggest names in the college football playoff heading into this Friday. We've been through Ryan Day, Justin Fields. How about Dabo Swinney? Dabo Swinney, for me, confidence-wise, he should be 10 of 10.
Oh, really?
10 of 10. And here's why. For one, he's never lost to Ohio State. With all due respect to Ryan Day, Dabo Swinney's beat Urban Meyer twice. He's 2-0 against Urban Meyer. He's 2-2 against Nick Saban. You just beat Ryan Day a year ago. You have the number 1 team in the country. If it's not for COVID and you have guys missed due to that, they're probably still the number 1 team in the country and probably don't lose to Notre Dame earlier in the season. So bottom line is right now there's no need for him to have any lack of confidence whatsoever. Him and Nick Saban should have their head held high heading into these playoffs and should feel confident. Trevor Lawrence, with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback under Dabo Swinney, they've only lost 1 game throughout the whole career of Trevor Lawrence. Dabo Swinney on a confidence level of 1 to 10 is 10 of 10. Maybe 11 to 10. He has the uppers. Coaches who are talking right now, they're only talking because they feel like their team's good enough to back it up. Like if he truly felt Ohio's like, and again, it's not a slight at Ohio State. I'm thinking in the mentality of Dabo. If he truly feared Ohio State, I don't think he'd be talking as much right now. He's disrespecting Ohio State is what he's doing. He's taunting them. He is laughing in their face because he doesn't think they're good enough to beat them. So that's why I feel like, he's very cocky. This wasn't Dabo 2 or 3 years ago. Now Dabo, he thinks he could say whatever he wants and there's no repercussions for it. I think his confidence level, whether we like it or not, is at a 10, maybe 11 or 12 out of 10.
Yeah, he's like we talked about a couple weeks ago. He's not that shucks guy that we once knew, and everybody like when they beat Bama with Deshaun Watson, everybody was cheering for him. Like, man, that's pretty cool, man. He used to be a walk-on in Alabama, and he was the wide receiver coach. And now he's the head coach of Clemson. Look at him now, man. That's pretty cool. But now he's part of the evil empire. You know what I'm saying? He's exactly what Saban is. We look at him with the same ilk that we look at Saban. Like, you snarking at the Ohio State University. I think his confidence meter is about a 7.
Interesting.
I'm not gonna go to 10. Like 10 would be them playing Florida State right now. like a 10 means like he knows they're not gonna win and everybody else knows it too. Like Ohio State can win this game, and I know we're going to make our predictions about the final score later on, but there's not a doubt in my mind that Ohio State can win this game. Ohio State had this game in the bag last year. They were on the verge of blowing them out if it wasn't for 2 drop touchdown passes by Dobbins. So I don't think he should be walking around like super cocky. Yeah, you may have the number 1 pick in the draft, but your offensive line ain't what it was last year. Your defense ain't what it was last year. So a 10, no way.
All right, Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here. Confidence meter, scale of 1 to 10. Ryan Day, Justin Fields. We're already at Dabo Swinney. We'll get to Trevor Lawrence, Nick Saban, Brian Kelly, and more. That's coming up. More of the confidence meter conversation when we come back. College Football Playoff Edition next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon is going to be cloudy and windy with rain, a high near 52. Tonight's also going to be cloudy and windy with rain and snow, a low around 30. And tomorrow will be mostly cloudy, a high near 38. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
O'Reilly. It's that time of year again when you never know what the weather will bring. O'Reilly Auto Parts has everything you'll need to be prepared. Right now, save $10 on 2 Trico Titan wiper blades. Plus, we'll even install them for free. Experienced improved visibility in all weather conditions with long life wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192. Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192. Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Is the cost of finishing the basement worth the benefit of some peace and quiet? When questions find you, Merrill Edge Self-Directed Investing can help you find answers with personalized planning tools and insights to help you get where you want to go, even if it's just downstairs. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
There's no place like home for the holidays. And when it comes to home style, there's no place like Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken with our 8-piece meal for only $19.99. Get the taste of home that's ready in a hurry with 8 mixed pieces of our famous recipe chicken, 2 large sides, and 4 fluffy biscuits. With Lee's, treating your family to a home-style meal is easier than ever. Get a sit-down meal made easy with our 8-piece meal for only $19.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change to do. We can get you everything you need. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil and an STP oil filter for just $26.99, plus a $5 bonus reward if you're an AutoZone Rewards member. Not a member? We can sign you up fast right here in store or on AutoZone.com. Getting the job done just got easier. Terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Get quality candidates delivered from Indeed's resume database immediately when you upgrade your job post. Learn more at Indeed.com/credit.
Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays at 3 p.m. on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
So you want to talk about outliers? Those guys are outliers. You're lucky that this thing's separating us. That's all I got to say. For facts, though. I got your facts right here. I got your facts right here.
Listen, stream, and now watch. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook to follow along. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here. Don't miss the Buckeyes take on Clemson this Friday night in the Sugar Bowl as the college football playoffs kicks off the new year. Coverage starts at 6:30 with kickoff at 8 p.m. right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio. Also, this Sunday morning, College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and myself, we will be live at Frickers. And, of course, hopefully we're talking about, previewing the Buckeyes in the national championship game. So Frickers, 741 by the Dayton Mall this Sunday. You want to come out for the Sunday morning tailgate show. Of course, we'll get you set for the regular season finale of the NFL season, but we'll also have plenty of reaction to the Buckeyes and Clemson, as well as Alabama and Notre Dame coming up on Friday, New Year's Day. Back to the confidence meter game. We opened up again on a scale of 1 to 10. How confident should these individuals be? It's the college football playoff edition. We started with Ryan Day and Justin Fields. Quick recap. For me, I had Ryan Day is about a 5. I think that, you're at a 5 automatically because you're Ryan Day. You're at The Ohio State University. I don't care about the recent struggles. You do have Justin Fields. You have a strong run game. You have one of the best offensive lines in college football. You have two of the most exciting wide receivers, probably the best wide receiving core in college football. There is a lot of reasons to be optimistic about this matchup. For one, you went through a bumpy regular season to get to this point.
Right.
So I think that that's one thing that you can look at the struggles from throughout. Not really struggles. You're undefeated. But look at some of the roadblocks along the way. Just put that. Who cares? We knew it was going to be bumpy. Mm-hmm. Point is, the talent got you through that. Your talent is here, and this is what you fought so hard for. This is why when the Big Ten said we weren't going to have a season, that's why this was so devastating, because of this opportunity right here. So I think that that's why the confidence should start at a 5. I think it could be higher than that. But I do think that the recent, the Ohio State's never beat Clemson. I think that weighs heavily on this as well. So Ryan Day's at a 5 for me. Justin Fields at a 5 as well, just because of his performance against Clemson last year, that final play, the interception, as well as, not playing well against Indiana Northwestern, handling the pass rush. And, of course, Clemson knows that, and they're going to be bringing the heat early. I think that's going to be heavily in the back of his head, but we also know how good Justin Fields could be. And for me, Dabo Swinney, a 10 of 10. He's never lost to Ohio State. He's won 2 national titles in the last 5 years. He's in the college football playoffs seemingly every year, and he has the best quarterback in college football in Trevor Lawrence. So that's why, to me, 10 of 10 confidence meter-wise for Dabo Swinney. Next up on the confidence meter game for the college football playoff edition, Kev, I'll let you start with this one. Let's go to Trevor Lawrence. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident should Trevor Lawrence be heading in to the matchup with the Buckeyes on Friday?
Sorry to say, he should be at a 9. He should be licking his chops at this secondary. The Ohio State secondary, when you lose 2 first-round picks, and then you also lose Jordan Fuller, who was a 7th-round pick, who is currently starting for the Rams. So basically, you lost 3 first-round picks because you don't expect a 7th-round pick to be a starter in the NFL, but yet Jordan Fuller is. And they also lost Chase Young. The pass rush from the outside hasn't been there for the Buckeyes. The strength of the Buckeyes defense this year are the 2 D tackles. So I think he's licking his chops at this Ohio State defense.
Yeah, look for Amari Rodgers too.
Yeah. I mean, in the slot, and that's something we were talking about yesterday. Will they take Shaun Wade and put him on Amari Rodgers because Amari Rodgers is a slot receiver? We don't know. We're going to find out on Saturday, but I do believe that's the best strategy, kind of like almost a follow situation, man, because that's their guy. And when Shaun Wade got ejected for the targeting hit, that's when Amari Rodgers got open across the middle. Proctor went in his place, and that's when Amari Rodgers started getting open across the middle, man. So I think it's key to have Shaun Wade or whomever is playing that slot cornerback position for the Buckeyes to do their dang job, man. But if I'm Sunshine, I'm licking my chops at this Ohio State defense.
I think that the one reason that Trevor Lawrence's confidence meter is at a 12 of 10 is no Chase Young. Last year, Trevor Lawrence, we could talk about, we were focused on the offensive attack of the Buckeyes last year. I think we always knew how good the defense was, but you had, obviously, Shaun Wade along with Jeff Okudah, and then, of course, you had, Chase Young. So you had this great secondary complemented by a great pass rush. You don't have that great pass rush this year. The secondary not as strong. It's still serviceable. We've seen quarterbacks attack Shaun Wade and go at him. They have not been fearing him. They go at him, and Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback that they have faced all season. So I think that because because you look at the fact that the success he had last year against the Buckeyes' better defense is one reason why I think he's going to feel pretty confident. Trevor Lawrence did not have a good first half. In fact, he had a lot of receivers. Remember, he had key receivers, leave the game, out, injured, that type of thing. But Trevor Lawrence.
Both Higgins and Ruff got banged up in that game because of the physical abilities of Ohio State's defense.
So that was huge. But Trevor Lawrence completed 18 of 33 passes last year against the Buckeyes for 259 yards and 2 touchdowns. So the Buckeyes didn't allow him to go off. He only threw for 259 yards. He did throw for 2 touchdowns. But here's what Trevor Lawrence did that really killed the Buckeyes. That Ohio State fans seem to forget. We keep blaming the officiating. We forget that the Buckeyes are up 16-0. You forget that you let them go on a 21-0 run. And you also forget that you let Trevor Lawrence rush for 107 yards on the Buckeyes last year, including a touchdown. He had 3 total touchdowns last year, one of those being on the ground. He rushed for over 107. You don't look at Trevor Lawrence and think of a running quarterback right away. You know what he could do with his arm. So the fact that he was able to rush for 107 yards last year, that's something to keep an eye on as well. It's tough to contain Trevor Lawrence, the passing quarterback, but there was something about the defense last year that exposed them to Trevor Lawrence running all over him. Trevor Lawrence should be confident. Buckeyes defense needs to be extra aware of him because they don't have that great pass rush they did a year ago to try to put the pressure on him to kind of take him out of his comfort zone.
Well, that's what you do in a situation like that. They run him when they need to. They're not running him against Wake Forest and Florida State. They're running them against Notre Dame. They're running them against Ohio State and the games that they actually need him to do that. And, since he doesn't do it on a regular basis, I think people tend to think like, oh, man, he's a statuesque Peyton Manning type of guy. No, dude, when he goes to the combine, he's going to test out the roof athleticism. Like people just look at like a guy like Josh Allen before he got to the combine and said, oh, basically his comp athletic-wise is Cam Newton. And then now everybody plays him for the run. Like, I think we've learned our lesson that, okay, man, this guy not only can run a little bit, he can run a lot.
Yep.
And once he gets that long stride going, we ain't going to catch him. And a person that hasn't forgot that he can run, Josh Proctor. He's the one who got his jock string shook out. So Josh Proctor, I know we love Josh Proctor. He wears number 41 like our guy KB. Josh Proctor lays the wood. I would love to see Josh Proctor lay him out with a clean legal hit. You got to think about it, man. Like he was coming in hot and heavy trying to clear his clock and Sunshine juked him out his shoes and he took off for a 70-yard run. We learned our lesson. I believe the Buckeyes are not going to allow him to run. If Clemson's going to win this game, they're going to force him to pass the ball.
Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. The confidence meter going one by one, going through some of the biggest names who are going to be playing or coaching in this weekend's or in this New Year's Day, this Friday's college football playoff semifinal matchup. So, okay, we've spent plenty of time on Ohio State, Clemson. Let's move on to Alabama. Nick Saban. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident should Nick Saban be? Again, since the college football playoff started, him and Dabo Swinney have each won 2 national titles apiece. They are a regular to the college football playoff, only missing it once throughout the existence of the college football playoff, talking about the Crimson Tide. So I'm curious, on the scale of 1 to 10, how confident should Nick Saban be heading in with his number 1 team in the country?
He should feel about a 9, maybe a 9.5. That offense that Alabama is clicking with, man, is scary.
It's the numbers. They're LSU like from last year. People don't realize that. Mac Jones has gotten a lot of attention, but he's doing the same things that Joe Burrow did last year, just not getting as much attention for whatever reason. But yeah, the Alabama offensively, it's a great, well-rounded offense. Good offensive line. The run game with Harris is unbelievable. I mean, they're stacked.
I know that their starting center is out for the game. He broke his leg in the SEC championship game, so maybe Notre Dame can take advantage up front a little bit with that and everything like that. But the numbers, man, the numbers they're putting up, and it's just left and right, man. Like Jalen Waddle isn't even playing, and Jalen Waddle's their number 1 guy. And now that Jalen Waddle isn't playing, Donovan Smith is balling out of control. Like he might win the Heisman Trophy. Like, and then Amici, the 3rd receiver, who bumped up to the 2nd receiver, now is projected to be a top round pick. Like, it's something going on down there in Alabama with this offense, man. This isn't the old, hand it off 35 times to this running back. Yeah, hand it off 10 times to the next running back and let's just win it on the ground. Like, they're airing it out, man. So if I'm him, I would be feeling real confident right now.
Yeah, I think that Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney are they're 1A and 1B. I don't care who your A is or who your B is. They're pretty level right now. I mean, big picture, Nick Saban's 1A. But in the college football playoff, the two teams that have just been going blow for blow has been Clemson and Alabama. They're there every year. They've run into each other 4 times. And this is your number 7 in the college football playoff, Alabama, Clemson. They've met in the championship game 4 times. Mm-hmm. And it looks like, if you go chalk, it could be number 5. It could potentially be Clemson and Alabama meeting in the national championship game coming up a week from this Monday. So a lot on the line. I think Clemson obviously they have a game on Friday. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be a game for Alabama. I think Ohio State Clemson is going to come down to the final moments of that game, just like last year, no doubt about it. I think Alabama, if they come out the way they did, if they come out and punch them in the mouth the way Clemson did to Notre Dame, and I just don't trust Notre Dame. To me, Alabama's just super talented on both sides of the ball. Everything has clicked for them all season long, and they've been able to handle the ups and downs of this virus since the very beginning. They've lost Saban for a game. It's just like every team has been impacted by it one way or another. They've done about as good a job of any. They've been one of the most consistent teams out there. I think that continues. I think they easily take care of Notre Dame. We'll get to our predictions later, but I think that's why one reason Nick Saban's confident. He's confident no matter who he has to face. And my goodness, can you imagine a Buckeyes Alabama national championship game? I mean, I'm sitting here throwing out this Ryan Day question about, what's his staple win? He's looking for a staple win against Dabo Swinney. I can't think of it. I mean, you know how you surpassed Urban very early in your tenure at Ohio State? College football playoffs back-to-back years, Big Ten titles back-to-back years, and win over Dabo Swinney and Nick Saban in the same playoff to win a national championship. How about that? I mean, Ryan Day, we could say how the mountain's high, but man, the payoff, if he can pull this off, this would be one of the most impressive things for a Buckeye coach in my lifetime. I mean, this would be more of an impressive national title for Ryan Day and the Buckeyes if they pull it off than any other title in program history, period. So this is fun.
Remember earlier in the season, well, not even in the season, man, it's before preseason. We were talking about who's Alabama's starting quarterback going to be. They had a hot shot recruit coming in, 5-star, Bryce Young and everything like that. And everybody, he's going to take his job and everything like that. And what did Mac Jones do? Put his nose to the ground and grind it out. And is out here a Heisman Trophy contender, got his team number 1 in the country. Probably going to beat Notre Dame and be sitting in the national championship. That's kudos to him, man, and kudos to the coaching staff down there at Alabama.
All right, again, Alabama and Notre Dame. That will be the first college football playoff matchup coming up on Friday, followed by Ohio State and Clemson. A lot of big games coming up on Friday. Last step on the confidence meter game, Brian Kelly. Scale of 1 to 10, how confident should he be? Head coach of Notre Dame, of course.
Man, and this is something we talked about before. It just don't mean anything if you don't win a national championship nowadays, man. No matter how good the season they had, it's just not going to matter because they're not going to win a national championship. So I would say Coach Kelly, he's at like a 3. It's like at a 3-4 at the most. The style of offense that they run is not conducive to beat Alabama. They throw a lot of crossing routes to their tight ends and things of that nature, but they don't have, Chase Claypool. He's playing for the Steelers now, so he's not that downfield threat. And then at that point, the quarterback, Ian Book, he's not like a big-time passing quarterback. He can throw the ball, but he's not like, oh, man, he's on the radar to be going to the NFL and things of that nature. You need a quarterback with some supreme skill that, like, man, he's going to be playing on Sundays. Johnny Manziel, he played on Sunday. It didn't turn out great, but he's played on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? So you need that type of quarterback to beat Alabama because something with Alabama, they don't allow you to run the ball. They just don't. Outside of Ohio State in the semifinal a couple years ago when Zeke broke off a couple long runs, I don't remember anybody else running on Alabama outside of Zeke. And the year that Auburn beat them in the kick 6 game. Like those are the only 2 years I can remember anybody running on Alabama. And the style of running is a spread option run. So Notre Dame is a traditional dot the I, turn it off and hand off to the running back. That ain't gonna work. I'm just not gonna work on Alabama. So I'm dropping it down to a 3.
I think he should be fairly confident. I'm going to say 7. Not confident necessarily thinking you could beat Alabama, but why not? Here's why. The only team that has nothing to lose in this playoffs is Brian Kelly and Notre Dame.
Facts.
They're the only team that is not viewed as a national championship caliber team. They are the only team that by getting to the playoffs, that is if the season ended today, just qualifying for the playoff. That's their banner. That's their feel good moment. Notre Dame fans listening is probably driving them nuts, but it's true. You're not going to convince me otherwise. This is the only program in the playoff right now that you look at and say, well, that's a heck of a year. When their name popped up in the college football playoff selection show on last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago, that was their Super Bowl moment. That was their national title moment. Because every other team, Ohio State, they were happy to be in, but they got bigger fish to fry. So Trevor Lawrence, Clemson, Alabama, same thing. I just like for them, they're the only one that's them to lose. They lose, they're supposed to lose, and if they win, it's an even bigger story than that. So I think that when you have a program like that, Brian Kelly, head coach, they have nothing to lose. And Brian Kelly's job, no one's going to look at him any less. They will not look at him any less for losing to Alabama, because think about what they just did. Everyone, including me, you need to get into a conference. They make the playoff without getting in a conference. The committee was wrong for putting a team in that didn't win a conference championship. They need to force their hand. They need to force them to get into a conference. What's Notre Dame do? They get in a conference. They still don't win a conference championship, and they're still in the playoff. Like Notre Dame, they're that nap. They're always there. You always have to swat them away. Sometimes they hang around a little longer than usual. They're hanging around a little longer than usual this year. Again, we'll see what happens.
Does it matter the final score? Like if they get blown out, say by 20, 30 points versus, man, they only lost by 7. Does that change how we look at how their season ended? Like, is that going to change the majority of people's opinion? Because we all know, like, if they get blown out, people are like, see, they put the wrong team in there and they should have put UC in there. But if they only lose, say, like, 7, 10 points, and it's actually a good game, a very entertaining game, and they end up losing by, 7, 10 points, will that change people's perception of Notre Dame?
I think you're going to have the natural doubters. You're going to have the people who naturally don't like Notre Dame that are just waiting for that to happen. Like, they're already doing it. They already have it locked and loaded in the back of their head. They already have certain
tweets saved in the
draft because they have all the jokes lined up and everything. But I don't think that Kelly's job is on the line or anything. I don't think that they can get beat 50-0. I don't think his seat's warm afterwards. I don't. And this is starting to remind me of college basketball a little bit. I mean, a lot of times it's as long as you're making the NCAA tournament, you're fine. As long as you're making the college football playoff, you're fine. Ryan Day can make the college football playoff 10 straight years without winning a national title, and he's fine. The playoff to me is like it's a safe ground. It's a safe haven. I think that the reason Alabama and Clemson have elevated themselves a bit is because they've won multiple titles during the playoff format. They're always there. Alabama wasn't there last year. They've missed it only twice. But point is, you know what I mean? Just dominating it as much as they have. Again, this is your number 7 of the playoff, and you could potentially have Clemson, Alabama for the 5th time. Let
me run some past you. Bama, 56 players in the NFL. Ohio State, 50. LSU, 41. Florida, 39. Michigan, 33. Georgia, 32. Penn State, 32. Miami, 30. Clemson, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, 29. So I don't know what to make of stuff like that. The first reaction is to say, well, obviously Alabama has the most players in the NFL because they're the best, right? Obviously, Ohio State is right up there. They're one of the best. But then you take a look at Clemson, who we deem as one of the best, and they're, quote unquote, all the way down at, quote unquote, 8 with only 29 players in the NFL. And right by them is Notre Dame.
What's the timeline for
this is going into the 2020 NFL season.
Well, Clemson's their new money. Keep in mind, they're new money, right? Like they just started being NFL heavy talent in the last 6-7 years, correct? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give that's one reason right there. Notre Dame, even on down years, is still putting in talent to the league.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you're an NFL team looking for offensive linemen, you're looking at Alabama, Notre Dame, and Wisconsin. Like, so they're putting talent in the NFL. It's just not the talent position. Like, all right, man, like we need a playmaker on the outside. That's not even, Chase Claypool, but that's one guy. you can go to two hands.
Saying it's an outlier.
you can go on two hands and name the receivers that are in the NFL from Alabama and Oklahoma. So I look at this and to myself, I say, well, shoot, they should be right there in the mix for national champions. And they are, they were in the BCS, they were in the college football playoff, they're in this year. So why on the biggest stages, they just get overwhelmed? Is it just that, they're just a bad matchup? Is it just like I don't think that this.
How is it not translating the same as so why does the NFL talent on Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State translate to creating a little pocket of those three teams and then everybody else? Well, they're right there. But that's why I talk about the importance of recruiting too. To even be in the conversation, you have to check that off the list first. But that's why you got to win these games. Mm-hmm. It's why it's important. People act like, oh, Ryan Day, if he loses to Clemson, so what? He's had a great start. It's important that you win these games. Like Ohio State, there was that stretch, even with getting to the title game since 2002. After that, how many big games were they starting to lose under Tressel? Like they were starting to lose a lot of big games. People were getting not impatient, like wanting to get rid of Tressel, but you were getting frustrated. You were getting upset.
And that's a great comparison. That's a great comparison. I think Notre Dame is in the same boat that we were with Tressel after
the title game.
After we won one, then we lost one, then lost another one. And it's like, hey, man, what's going on? It's the feeling of like we know we're good and we keep getting to the game, and we would rather get to the game than not get to the game. But, hey, man, we can't get blown out, man. This is embarrassing. You don't want to get blown out. If you lose, you lose. You don't want to get blown out. Like, all right, the Oklahoma-Georgia game in the Rose Bowl a couple years ago, Baker's senior year, where he won the Heisman Trophy. You can lose like that. That's a respectable way to lose. It was a great game, highly entertaining, but you can't lose the way that Jalen Hurts lost in the semifinal. You can't lose the way Kyler Murray and Oklahoma lost in his semifinal performance. It's like, yo, man, that's embarrassing. If we lose, let's make it a good game so we can still hold our head up high. Like, so that's how I think like Notre Dame fans are feeling right now. Like, I think they would be lying to themselves to think they're going to win this game. I think for the most part, they're like, look, man, just lose by 10. To lose by 10, I'll be happy with that.
All right, we'll be back in a moment. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash next. The Dayton Flyers in action tonight after 11 days off. Ohio State basketball. We have that coming up your way as well. Wright State, it was announced today that they have an ESPN2 game coming up around the corner. We'll have all of that updated for you around the corner next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on ESPN 1410 Wing AM.
That's the sound of NyQuil Severe hard at work. NyQuil Severe is the best sleep with a cold medicine. No tossing and turning, just rest and recovery. So you're ready to take on tomorrow. For powerful relief of your worst cold and flu symptoms, try NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
O'Reilly. This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it for free. Now my car starts like new.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Where's the money, Karen?
I'm sorry, the money?
The money you saved by having Liberty Mutual customize your home insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, that money. I used it to add to my collection of clown paintings. Take a look.
Amazing. Wow.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
The spread of COVID-19 is still unchecked across the nation, and you need to keep your family safe. Make a new habit and check your temperatures twice a day, once before dinner and before leaving home in the morning. You can't afford to take chances, so use the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies, and it takes an accurate reading in seconds. It's the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Quick and easy to use. You can count on Exergen to keep your family safe 24 hours a day.
Hey, Sam, back from your date so soon?
It didn't exactly go well. I really struggle with communication, trust, lack of commitment. At this rate, I'll be a single mom forever.
Maybe you should check out if you qualify for the free classes offered at Marriage Works Ohio. They have TANF funds for people over 18 with a child at home or pregnant. You may qualify as a single mom. They help married couples and singles with healthy relationship classes, including topics like dating. Go to trustmarriage.com or call 937-262-7010 to register.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
When the weather outside is frightful, the Hyundai Santa Fe is, what's the word? Delightful. Because it's got available H-Track all-wheel drive to make being out together better. Enter for your chance to win the newly redesigned Santa Fe, packed with all the jingle bells and whistles you need to go dashing through the snow together. To enter, visit Amazon.com/Hyundai or scan the QR code on specially marked red and green Amazon boxes. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring for brand new home daily dedicated lanes. Earn up to $1,620 per week. A $2,000 sign-on bonus, medical, dental, vision, company paid life insurance. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com.
It's never okay to drive stoned. You put yourself and others in danger. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
I can't wait till sports talk tomorrow because Just is going to be all over. He's one of the people from day one that says the Bengals need to get an offensive line to protect their investment.
Don't miss the Justin Kidder Show with Kev Nash, weekdays at 3 p.m. right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Fire Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
We have Ohio State basketball coming up here just a few hours from now. In fact, we'll cut the show short just by 15 minutes. We'll hand it off at 5:45 to Paul Keels and the guys as they bring you Ohio State and Nebraska. We have Ohio State men's basketball tonight as they welcome in Nebraska with a 6:30 tip-off in Columbus. The Buckeyes are 7-2 on the season and are currently ranked number 25. They are a 13-point favorite tonight as they welcome in Nebraska. 1-2 in Big Ten play, looking to even up their Big Ten record at 2-2. You know, with the Big Ten being so good, Kevin, college basketball, it's, just as good this year as it was last year. Like, we have no clue how good or bad these teams are because it's just a bloodbath in there. Mm-hmm. Like, we think, like, everyone's like, oh, Chris Holtmann and Ohio State, they're too inconsistent. They'll win one or two, and then they'll lose two. And I think that's just because it's a brutal conference schedule. And Chris Holtmann will never make any excuses. I mean, he'll tell you, yeah, we need to win. But the thing is, like, he'll get one or two nice wins. They'll have one or two losses. They're like, oh, he needs to win those. But these are good teams.
Right.
The Big Ten it's the best college basketball conference out there right now. And it has been for a while. But it's like I see a lot of people criticizing Chris Holtmann saying, he's frustrating because you can't tell how good a team he has ever. I think you could say that about all the Big Ten teams. You could say that about all the Big Ten teams. Michigan State, it's not that they've taken some steps back the last couple of years. It's because they haven't been able to dominate. Usually you have two or three teams at the top of the conference that are dominating everything. That's not the case right now. It's just a bloodbath in that conference. The Dayton Flyers, they are back at it tonight after 11 days off. The Flyers tip off A-10 plays. They welcome in LaSalle to the arena for a 7 p.m. tip-off. The Dayton Flyers are a 12.5-point favorite. Again, 11 days off, and I'm very glad that all the players got to go home and see their families for the holidays, or at least most of them did. They all had to, the testing protocol, test negative. They've all passed those, and obviously they're ready to go, and they're going to be in action coming up later on tonight, 7 o'clock. So I'm glad that they were able to go home and not have any kind of repercussions. Right. We talked about that earlier with the offensive coordinator for Clemson. Hopefully it wasn't something like that. Like, a lot of players went home for the holidays. Mm-hmm. You would hate to see the college football playoff or conference playing basketball be impacted by that. And last thing for college basketball locally here, the Wright State men's basketball game against Youngstown State that was scheduled for Friday, January 8th. That's been moved to ESPN2. The Horizon League and ESPN announced earlier this afternoon. The game remains a 7 p.m. tip-off at the Nutter Center, Wright State, Youngstown State, January 8th. And for a more local flair there, too, former Wayne Warrior Darius Quisenberry, first team All Horizon League on Youngstown State. Again, right now out with an injury, but he should be back by that game, so you'll have a chance to see him play on ESPN2 as well. So how exciting is that? Did you see Amari Davis? See, it was a perfect storm this past weekend. I'm a huge Amari Davis fan from Trotwood. He came in, dropped 30-plus points. 35 points to be exact.
All twos.
And he's hit a few threes.
Yeah, like 2 threes the other day. But yeah, I was watching part of that game, and it's just like we've been saying, okay, as long as Wright State is winning, I won't complain about all this talent playing at other schools. But the second we're not playing great basketball and losing, and these other dudes from the area are putting up 35 points and balling out of control, that's when I'll get mad. So I'm not mad. I'm happy for the young man. He got busy. Wish he got busy for us, but okay.
No, that's what I've always like. Every time I get critical of that, but I did talk to Darius Quisenberry 2 weeks ago. I host that podcast for the Horizon League, and I asked him, I said, I'm not asking you to put your team down or anything like that, or to put Wright State down, but I'm curious, why did you pick, you're playing in the conference, you have a conference team in your own backyard. Why did you pick Youngstown State over Wright State? He said he's just a guy that he looks at Youngstown State. They haven't had great success. He wants to be a part of the change there, playing for Coach Calhoun, and he said he can come to Wright State where they're already winning, where they're already been to the tournament and having success. He wants to be, when they think of Youngstown State, if they ever turn that program around and he's a part of it, he wants to be looked at as the face of that. He wants to be looked at as the guy to do that. And he's done his part. But yeah, very interesting conversation with him. Point is, get a chance to see Darius Quisenberry back here in the Dayton area playing at the Nutter Center. Youngstown State, Wright State, January 8th. That game's been moved to ESPN2. All right, hour 2 coming up. Talk a little NFL. By the way, you see my latest Christmas present? Yeah, buddy.
What is that?
My Cleveland Browns jersey. Nora got it for me. Great fiance. She loved it. That's the Baker Mayfield.
Oh, okay.
The guy. Right there. All right, folks, we'll switch gears to some NFL talk coming up around the corner. Head to Facebook, search The Justin Kinner Show, jump in on the conversation, watch along. We're also live on Twitter and YouTube. Search ESPN Dayton for both. Hour 2 next, NFL talk. Our top 10 teams in the NFL heading into the finale, the regular season finale, as well as the playoffs. Let's talk playoffs. NFL playoffs. Baker Mayfield against Mason Rudolph, Myles Garrett against Mason Rudolph coming up on Sunday. We'll talk about that, as well as the Cincinnati Bengals as they look to try to go out on a hot streak. That's all next.
Playoffs. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on ESPN 1410 Wing AM. We are Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Into the end zone goes Chris Olave. A.J. Hill, 6-yard touchdown catch. Right sideline and down he goes to the end zone.
WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The spread of COVID-19 is still unchecked across the nation, and you need to keep your family safe. Make a new habit and check your temperatures twice a day, once before dinner and before leaving home in the morning. You can't afford to take chances, so use the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies, and it takes an accurate reading in seconds. It's the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Quick and easy to use. You can count on Exergen to keep your family safe 24 hours a day.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S. all free.
With the radio.com app.
A sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
Listen, stream, and now watch. Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER and ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, we welcome you back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station. He's a former Buckeye great and now a college football Hall of Famer. He's Keith Byers, and you can catch Keith Byers every Monday at noon for the Keith Byers Show presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. And, of course, you don't want to miss his show coming up this Monday, as he'll have all the reaction, of course, to everything going on in the world of college football, the NFL. And hopefully he's in a good mood, because if he's in a good mood, it means the Buckeyes took care of business on Friday night against Clemson, which, by the way, you can catch Ohio State Clemson coverage beginning at 6 o'clock right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio, also simulcasted on our sister station, 92.9 Jack FM. So keep that in mind. There's plenty of ways to take in the Buckeye game if you can't be around the tube coming up this weekend. All right, let's talk and switch gears a little bit. Let's head to the NFL. Of course, typical, by the way, more Cleveland Browns news, which, by the way, if you're watching live, look, I got my new Browns jersey. Thank you, Nora. I think she didn't believe I was a true Browns fan. Like, I had to really convince her I was a Browns fan for her to be able to get me. She goes, I'm not going to buy you a dumb jersey if you're not really a fan. I'm like, why would I not buy it? Literally every Sunday, that's all I do is watch the Browns. So she finally bought me one. She goes, here, shut up.
She must not listen to the show.
No, she doesn't.
She don't want to hear
She doesn't
argue.
No, she hates it. She says it makes her so uncomfortable when I'm arguing with people and stuff. And she says I'm a jerk to you, by the way.
I agree.
So there you go. Poor Kev Nash. It's sympathy all over the place. Fiance Team Kevin. There you
It
go.
happens.
All right, so we're going to do our top 10. We're going to rank right now our top 10 NFL teams heading into this Week 17, week season finale, or regular season finale. But we know about the Steelers and the Browns coming up on Sunday. But how about this? A player and personnel have tested positive today for the Cleveland Browns. They shut down the practice facility. Still no word yet. We do know that it is an assistant coach as well as a player from the practice squad, which could potentially be a starter. You never know.
Right.
I mean, that's the deal. So I found that interesting. And again, I'm trying to remain positive as far as that goes, no pun intended, with everything going on right now. Keep in mind that does put, with everything going on, that puts 10 Browns personnel members on the COVID exempt list or the COVID list right now. They could get 7 of those players back by Sunday, including Jarvis Landry, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rashard Higgins. It's going to be very important for the Browns to get those guys heading in to Sunday. So keep in mind that that's huge. We do know for the Steelers, of course, that they are moving forward and are going to start. They're not going to start Big Ben Roethlisberger. I'm excited for this matchup too, just because of who their backup quarterback is. The last time we saw these two teams and these guys go head to head, it was the noggin game.
Yeah.
Helmet upside the noggin game. So there's that. Let me ask you, in a game where you're not, this looks like you're throwing in the white flag, right? Like you're throwing the towel in. When you're resting guys, you're telling you guys this isn't an important game, which we as fans know it's not. But that has to be tough as a coach to manage that. How do you convince your players to come out and play hard while also telling them that this game means nothing because we're resting our star players for the games that do matter? That's a tough balance. I mean, again, it's a good problem to have. I'd rather be in the Steelers' position than the Browns' position heading into this weekend. The Browns, it's a playoff game. They have to win. Sure, they can lose and get help from other teams, and I don't care about that. You don't want that. The Steelers are in good shape, but that has to be a tough thing for Mike Tomlin or any coach.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Tomlin.
Patrick Mahomes being rested.
Yeah, they're starting Chad Henne. I didn't even know Chad Henne was still in the NFL.
How's that feel, Buckeye fans? Dwayne Haskins just gets cut yesterday. Dwayne Haskins cut just days ago, and then Chad Henne getting to start in the NFL. How about that?
Man, I think it definitely has to be a difficult situation because you already know, man, the players want to play. They only get 16 of these things for sure, especially like the Steelers. And we talked about this on Tuesday about them finally getting a rhythm on offense in the second half of the game versus Colts. And now you're going to sit this starting quarterback who finally looked like a real quarterback again for a change. And now you're putting all your dice on the playoffs, but ultimately that's where everything really counts. So many people, like, I was happy we won the AFC North and everything like that, but I was more happy that, like, all right, we didn't clinch the home game and we got the division out the way. That means we can rest guys because it is about the playoffs. It is about getting into the playoffs and then making a run. So if you don't have your guy, your trigger man and Big Ben, we all know they're not going anywhere. So it really all comes down to him, and there's no point in him playing in the game where there's nothing you can do. You're not going to move up to the number 2 seed. You're stuck at 3. So what's the point? Let's get this game over with and get ready for the second season, which is the playoffs.
We'll keep an eye on that situation more. And again, we'll find out more tomorrow if how many players the Browns get back. I'm telling you right now, the Browns don't have those guys. I'm picking the Steelers. I don't care. If they don't have, look, they lost to the Jets without those guys. That offense looked horrible. The only thing they have going for them is they would have a week to prepare with some of these backups. But the Steelers, even banged up defensively, still a very good defensive football team. They're very good against the run. All right, we talk about the Browns just need to focus on the run game. Steelers were in the top, rushing defenses in that. So out there. So I don't know. I'm crossing my fingers, trying to remain positive that the Browns are going to get other guys back.
When did we find out that they were going to be without their receiving core?
It was rumbling starting last Thursday or Friday. Like, it was quick. It was a quick turnaround. They found out they only got one full practice with these guys, and then they had a walkthrough on Sunday. So it could have been as early as Friday that they found out that they didn't have these guys.
Because with it being Christmas, I was kind of out of the loop on a lot of things. So when we were driving back from Cleveland, I turned on the radio, was listening to the pregame, and that's when I found out, what? They're not, Jarvis is out. He must be hurt. No, everybody, all 4 receivers, no go for the game. And that's when I was like, man, this has got to be difficult, especially it's Christmas. It's a short week. All those things going on with the team and practicing in a parking lot before an NFL game. That is crazy.
No, absolutely it is. And real quick, Schrody says, so if the Browns beat them, who does Pittsburgh play? Maybe that's what they're looking at as well. I think this is you're going to see the Browns in Pittsburgh. If Cleveland wins, you're going to see Pittsburgh and Cleveland again a week from Sunday.
Yeah. I saw how the breakdown goes, and it's one of those things that make your mind boggle about who they could play. I mean,
they could play the Colts if the Colts
get they could play they can play anybody. They can play the Browns. They can play the Colts. Then they could potentially play the Ravens. All three of those teams are on the table. So, you look at the Steelers playing the Ravens for a third time. You look at them playing the Colts for a second time, the Browns for a third time. It's the playoffs. It's pretty funny because you look at this season in the NFL, there's going to be a 10-win team from the AFC that not makes the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But last year, the Steelers would have made the playoffs at 8-8 if the format was open like that. So that's why every game counts. Every game counts until you clinch your playoff spot, man. So you talk about that Raiders game, you might be right. Like, you get that win over the Raiders, you're in the playoffs. Everything's locked up already for the Browns.
That was my fear, man. And you could say, look, they barely beat the Texans. Like, there were games that had they lost, I would have been like, oh, that's the game that's going to keep them out right there. And yes, I know the Raiders are an okay football team, but the Browns are better. They lost to the Raiders, but the Browns are a better. They're not a very good, well-rounded team. I hate their defense. They're like I said, the Haslam's better not spend one damn dime on defense or on offense this offseason. It needs to be all on the defensive end. But anyways, we'll get to that coming up here in a moment. But let's head into it. Our top 10 NFL teams heading in to Week 17. We're going to start with Kev Nash. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show. You can watch the show. You're going to see our list pop up on the screen here. Kev Nash, you are up. You are the only one on the camera right now, so you get to go through your top 10. Here's Kev Nash's top 10.
The number one team in the NFL is the champs, the Chiefs. They got Patrick Mahomes and a ton of offensive weapons. Their defense is still playing good football like they did last year in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, they just got too many weapons. Coming in at number 2, Green Bay Packers. You got the MVP of the league. You got him playing with a ton of weapons. They're also got A.J. Dillon, the former Boston College running back. He's racking up yards on the ground now, too. Obviously, Devontae Adams, Packers coming in at number 2. And also, they shut down the running game for the Titans, something nobody does besides the Packers, Browns, and the Steelers. Those are the only teams that stop the Titans running game this year. So you got to give them a lot of props. They fixed a lot of things on defense. Their linebackers are filling the gaps, trying to shut down the run. So they're the biggest threat to the Chiefs. Number 3, probably the hottest team in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills. You look at what Josh Allen is doing. You look at what Stephon Diggs is doing. You look at that defense waking up looking like they did last year. They put a hurting on the Pats on Monday Night Football. I think that was kind of like payback for all these years that the Patriots have been winning the AFC East, and Buffalo took it out on them on Monday night. So I got Buffalo coming in at number 3. Number 4, the Saints. And this was difficult for me because I have a love-hate relationship with old Drew Brees. I love young Drew Brees, but, he's coming off the cracked ribs. I was talking to one of my best friends about this. He was telling me this is going to help the Saints, him missing that time in the middle of the season. Maybe his arm won't fall off in the playoffs. Maybe he'll be Drew Brees early in the season, late in the season, if that makes any sense. So I got the Saints at number 4 because that defense is still filthy. I mean, you look at Alvin Kamara putting up 6 touchdowns. Like, that's crazy, man. That's Tecmo Ball. That's Madden type of stuff. So I got the Saints coming in at number 4. Number 5, the Seattle Seahawks. They were my Super Bowl pick coming out of the NFC going into the season. I still got them there. Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and that defense is starting to turn the corner. They're getting healthy on defense at the right time. So I got them coming in at number 5. They're still a threat. Number 6, Tampa Bay. I don't even know what day was that where Tom Brady basically threw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in 1 half. What day was that?
I don't even know what day it is today.
Well, they were playing the Detroit Lions, who didn't even have a head coach that game. So they put it on. Yes, it was the Lions, but it was an outstanding performance. It's Tom Brady clicking on all cylinders going into the playoffs. So you better watch out in the NFC. So I got them coming in at number 6. And at 7, 8, and 9, it is a total log jam of the AFC North. I got the Steelers at 7, Ravens at 8, Browns at 9. The reason I got the Steelers finally making their way back into any type of rankings is because they finally won a game. They finally looked like they knew what they were doing on offense. Besides trying to throw these quick slants and bubble screens, they started taking shots downfield with their wide receiving core and actually just said, well, let's just stop with this. Like, hey, man, break a tackle and take it long distance. Hey, just run far and I'll throw it to you. So I like the way they were looking on offense. Defense is always going to be there for the Steelers. Ravens are starting to click on all cylinders as well. You know, Lamar, he's starting to hit that seam route again. Tight end is back. Andrews is back. He's starting to hit Hollywood Brown over the top. And that defense looks like the Ravens defense again. The Browns, they had a little setback, obviously, with a great epic game versus the Ravens. Had the setback with COVID versus the Jets, but I truly do believe that the Browns will win this game versus Steelers on Sunday and put themselves in the playoffs, getting them 11 wins on the season. And then at number 10, I got the Tennessee Titans coming in at number 10. You know, I got to obviously have them behind the Steelers because they lost to them. Got to have them behind the Browns because they lost to them. So I look at the Titans and I see so much talent, especially on offense. I know you and I disagree about Ryan Tannehill, but I really view him as a very good quarterback in the NFL, and that run game is potent in the playoffs. It's just a matter of, can they keep up? Can you get that running game going? Are they coming out trying to run too early? Maybe they should come out passing to set up the run in the playoffs. We're going to find out in the playoffs. So that's my top 10. Once again, I got the Chiefs at 1, Packers 2, Bills 3, Saints 4, Seahawks 5, Buccaneers 6, Steelers at 7, Ravens at 8, Browns at 9, Tennessee Titans at number 10.
All right. Again, if you're just tuning in, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kevin Nash here on 1410 ESPN Radio. That was his top 10. It's time for my top 10. Why are you laughing already? Already, by the way. I said already. All right, so that was Kev Nash's top 10. One more time, take a look. You have the Chiefs, Packers, and Bills, 1, 2, and 3. 4, 5, and 6 belongs to the Saints, Seahawks, and Buccaneers. 7, 8, and 9, it's the AFC North. It's the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Browns. And then coming in at number 10, the Tennessee Schroedy Titans rounds out the top 10 for Kev Nash. Now, here's mine, and I'm already waiting for this. But, well, take a look at my top 10. My top 10 right there features Kansas City at number 1. Not a whole lot of shakeup here. I have the Bills at number 2. Where'd you have the Bills? You had them at 3?
Bills at 3, yes.
I want to put the Bills at number 1. The way I'm looking at mine right now is basically just how our team's playing right now. The way the momentum that teams are taking into the playoffs. How are they playing right now? I wanted to put the Bills at number 1, but I have Kansas City at number 1 just because, look, they've only lost one game. Defending Super Bowl champs. You have who's going to most likely be the MVP again this year. So I can't move Kansas City out of that number 1 slot. The Bills at number 2, Packers number 3. You can interchange them right now. Right. But Josh Allen, it's unbelievable the turnaround that he has had. It helps getting to play in the same system for 2 straight years now. They provide him some weapons down the field with Stephon Diggs. I mean, the Bills are no joke. Like that's a fun team to watch. And if you get Chiefs and Bills in the AFC title game, that's going to be one hell of a matchup right there. The Packers coming in at number 3 just because they have Aaron Rodgers, and make no mistake about it. You have the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Packers in any order you want. They're all sitting at 1, 2, and 3, Kev, because they have the 3 best quarterbacks in the league. Quarterbacks matter. This is why earlier in the year when you and I were talking about, you could win with, Baker, look, they're winning games. He's only throwing for 180 yards a game, but you could win. That's why I'm like, well, big picture, no. Because I'm looking at what do the Browns got to do to take that next step to be Super Bowl contenders. You're not doing that if your quarterback's averaging 180 passing yards a game. If you are that afraid to put the ball in his hands, that was my biggest knock against Baker earlier in the year. The top teams, look at this. Number 4, the Saints. I have them at number 4. They have Drew Brees. All right, number 5, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Number 6, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Now, those six teams have pretty much been consistent the whole time. I have the Browns coming in at number 7. I have the Browns ahead of the Ravens. I have the Browns ahead of the Titans, and I have the Browns ahead of the Steelers. And I swear if I could hit you legally and not get arrested for it, I would. What? What are you laughing at?
Didn't the Ravens beat the Browns twice?
Yes, they did. I talk about how they are right now. They just beat the Browns. Look, that game came down to whoever had the ball last. I feel more comfortable about what the Browns bring to the table offensively than the Ravens at this point. Mainly because you look into the fact that Lamar Jackson, yes, he's fun to watch. He's a regular season quarterback. Hasn't proven he can get it done in the postseason. I'm not going to put any stock in that. The quarterbacks, the style of play that works in the playoffs, it's the balanced attack of the run game with the pass game. Baker, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, as long as they have their pass game and as long as they are COVID-free, knock on wood, I'm putting Cleveland at number 7. Offensively, I'll take Cleveland's offense when healthy. I take Cleveland's offense over Seattle. I take Cleveland's offense over the Tennessee Titans. I take them over Baltimore, and I definitely take them over the Steelers. I have Baltimore coming in at number 8, Tennessee at 9, And I wanted the Colts at number 10. And I was one quarter away from having the Colts coming in at number 10. But the Steelers came away with the victory there. And again, I just think because you have Big Ben Roethlisberger, I almost wonder too, at some point, once they realized the one seed had kind of slipped out of their hands, I started looking at Pittsburgh as saying, are they leaving some in the chamber? Is there something are they just not going balls to the wall because it's just not worth right now, showing your full hand right now? You have an old aged quarterback. Do you just want to, you were going for the one seed at first because it was in your grasp. Once you lost it, it's no secret that once they lost it, all of a sudden they started kind of getting worse and worse and worse. I'm almost wondering if there's something there. You saw the urgency in that second half against the Colts. I'm wondering if that what I mean by that is that, like,
maybe that's what they were trying to save for the playoff.
Maybe. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt right there. But as of right now, Cleveland went healthy, and you look at how they've played. Yes, they lost to Baltimore, but Kev, even you have to admit, whoever had the ball last was going to win that. Now, you could say Cleveland technically did have the ball last. No, I mean like a legit, minute and a half, 2 minutes to actually move the ball down the damn field, not with 20 seconds left where they did that stupid Hail Mary that cost people millions of dollars.
Didn't the Steelers beat the Ravens twice as well?
I'm talking about how they're looking right now. Dude, I'm telling you, this is a top 10. Pittsburgh does not look like a top 10 team right now. They do not look like a top 10 team right now. If you started the season over right now with how these teams are playing, 8 games in, Pittsburgh's probably either 4-4 if they're lucky. They're not playing good football right now. Now, again, I complimented your Steelers. I said maybe they're leaving some in the chamber a little bit. Maybe they weren't going all out. They're not trying to show their full hand. An older team like that again. So we'll see.
I don't know if that's it. I just think that, Washington played it great. When you got a front four like the Washington football team has, where you can only rush 4 and still get pressure on the quarterback and drop everybody in the coverage, it shut down all those short, shallow crossing routes. So I give credit to the Washington football team. And basically, the Bengals mimicked that. The Bengals said, we'll just do exactly what they did. And it worked. And Ben fumbled snaps, set them up for touchdowns. You got to give the Bengals and the Washington football team a lot of credit for those victories. The Colts, I got to be perfectly honest, man. When I was watching that game, I missed the first quarter because I was still dropping back from Cleveland. So the first thing I did, we turned on the Browns game. Then I had the Steelers game on my iPad and everything like that. And I'm watching the game. So I'm texting my brother on my phone saying, Ben looks horrible. Like, this has been going on a whole month. Like, I'm not going to put this all on the offensive line. I'll put the lack of a running game on the offensive line. But, he's missing guys. Like, he's just missing. It's like, it's horrible. And then 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, he's throwing dimes. So I don't know what he did in the locker room. He took the needle. He took a Red Bull. He's on the Tom Brady avocado diet in the halftime locker room, but he looked great in the second half. And that's my argument of saying maybe he should still be playing. Maybe you should keep that rhythm going, because if you don't have any rhythm in the playoffs, it's one and done. It's a wrap. So
I would treat it like the preseason does, where starters get 1 or 2 drives to start and then start easing your bench in.
I wonder if he's even practicing this week.
The reason I agree with you on that is I don't think he is, and here's why. Why would Mike Brown? What the heck? Why would Mike Tomlin? Tomlin announced that he's going to be sitting out so early in the week? The gamesmanship part of it would be, I wouldn't announce it till as late in the week as possible. Let the Browns prepare for Big Ben Roethlisberger. But I think news would have got out, reports would have gone out, media would have noticed Big Ben's not taking first team snaps. People would have noticed Big Ben's probably not at practice. So I'm with you. I thought about that earlier today. I'm like, why would Mike Tomlin and the Steelers announce that so early in the week?
I watched the post game press conference and they were asking him then. So maybe it's a situation he just wanted to get ahead of it and said, I answered this question early in the week, so y'all ain't got to ask me at every other press conference. He's not playing. Helmet Head is playing, and that's it. So,
I mean, has he passed concussion protocol since last year? I'm
trying to think. Has Mason played any this season? Yes, he got into the game versus the Cowboys. Like, that's the only action he's seen. Like, man, where's Duck Hodges, man? Where's the Duck, man?
So real quick to go back to my list too, because I'm getting some people chiming in on here. Where'd it go? There it is, right here. Again, if you're just tuning in, it's the Justin Kinner Show. Kevin Nash, Justin Kinner here with you, giving you we're ranking our top 10 NFL teams regardless of division heading into the playoffs. Real quick, Tyler Schroeder says, Kev, the Titans beat the Ravens, and you had them ahead of the Titans. going at me for having the Browns ahead of the Ravens.
Touche.
And he says, I can't believe I'm backing up Kenner. That's right, Schrody.
Neither can I.
Yep.
After he did your team like that.
So, Logan Newton says 3 teams ahead of the Browns when all 3 have much more playoff experience. LOL, talk about bias. I have no clue what bias you're talking about. I have no clue. Logan, look, here's the deal. I look at the Cleveland Browns right now. Take last week out against the Jets. Had they lost to the Jets like that with Jarvis and everybody, I would not be sitting here talking as much smack as I am. Because I would be like, there's no excuse for that. You got to be. The reason I've been so high on the Browns as of late is because they've played their best football of the season at the most crucial time. Like, this is when you need to be playing your best football, and the Browns are playing their best football. It's unfortunate they have that setback. I'm not using that as an excuse because every team has had COVID, impact them one way or another at some point throughout the season. So, with that being said, I'm starting looking at the Browns offensively. Now, yes, the Ravens did beat them, but let's be clear. As far as Baker Mayfield's concerned, the biggest thing about the Browns that I was looking into is how good could the Browns be? To be fair, you got to back me up on this. Even when the Browns were winning early in the season, I wasn't satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting ripped for being negative. I'm like, yeah, they're winning, but this isn't how you're going to win. Like, this isn't how the way the Browns
are winning, but you're not winning.
Like, you're escaping with wins, but you're not really. If that's how you're going to try and do it, it's just not going to work.
But to be fair, look what the Chiefs are doing right now. They're quote unquote barely winning games.
I'm talking about barely winning. I'm talking about Baker, the way they were handling Baker.
Okay.
18 to 22 times on average the first 7 weeks of the season, Kev, outside of week 1, because he threw it 50 times against the Ravens, but they were down like 100-0 in the first 5 minutes to begin with. He threw a lot there, but he was averaging 18 to 22 throws a game. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, Baker, he was drafted number 1 overall to be this gunslinger, and you're sitting there taking the ball out of his hands. That means he's not your guy then. So that's why I was like, if they keep doing this, they're going to come away with some wins. They're going to be about an 8 to 9 win team, and that's what's good. But if they really want to go to that next level and beat these good teams, they have to allow him to be able to open up the offense, and they have. They beat the Titans. Yes, I know they lost to the Ravens, but that came down to whoever had the ball last. And I tell you what, they play again, I have all the confidence in the world that the Browns would be able to pull it off. I'm confident that the Browns are going to beat, if fully healthy, this week against the Steelers. They beat this Steelers team, and I'm just as confident that they can beat Big Ben Steelers the following week if that's who they run into. The point is I'm looking at this playoff slate in the AFC. The Browns could beat the Titans. They've proven that. They could beat the Colts. They've proven that. I think that the Bills would be interesting, but the Bills would be heavily favored in that matchup right there. The Browns, I think, are capable of beating the Ravens, and they're capable of beating the Steelers. And the Chiefs, forget the Chiefs. They're not beating the Chiefs. But my point is, like, the Browns are not the bottom of the barrel in the AFC right now. And either are the Titans, either are the Colts, either are the Steelers. It's just that's how tight all these teams are.
I mean, look at their record.
It's a very good – a 10-win team is not going to make the playoffs this year.
It's crazy. I mean, you look at these matchups we got for the final week of the season, and they have a lot of implications. You're looking at Miami at Buffalo. Now, technically, Buffalo has the lead on the second spot in the AFC over the Steelers. They both had the same record, but Buffalo beat the Steelers and everything like that. So to make sure they want to win that game. But the Dolphins have to win this game to even think about being in the playoffs. So that's a big game. Baltimore, they're not in the playoffs yet. They got to beat the Bengals this weekend.
Yep.
The Browns, they have to beat the Steelers to get into the playoffs this weekend. Then you look what's going on in Dallas at New York. Like that NFC lease, we made fun of it all season. Like
I might be a Cowboy fan a week from now.
Like though all those teams still are alive outside of Philadelphia. So that's a big game. You look at the Packers and the Packers and the Browns. Packers and the Bears, excuse me. The Packers are trying to lock up the number 1 seed in the NFC, but the Browns. The Bears are trying to make the playoffs. So if they win, they're in. So it is a ton of games. You look at what's going on with the Colts. They got to play Jacksonville. They have to win that game to even think about making the playoffs. It's a ton of great football this weekend. Definitely going to be locked in. Oh, Washington and Philly? That's the Sunday night game?
Yeah. That's right, you guys. When you said that yesterday, I wasn't going to interrupt, but yeah, that's the Sunday night game. NFC, man, it's like the SEC. The NFC East is the SEC of the NFL. I'm telling you right now.
because if Washington wins, they're in no matter what.
And it's a playoff game for somebody because if they lose, then the Cowboys are in.
Right.
So it's just one of those.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, why wouldn't you put Green Bay and Chicago be that night game? Because
would they have flexed the Steelers Browns at the? They would have positioned for the Browns Steelers, for the AFC North crown.
Yes.
That's what I thought too.
I would think so, but I would think that you would do Green Bay and Chicago because they both have something to play for. Philly doesn't have anything to play for. Green Bay's trying to get the number 1 seed, and the Bears are trying to get into the playoffs. I think that should have been the flex game because both teams have something to lose.
All right, real quick, an update on the Cleveland Browns. By the way, Jake Trotter covers the Browns for ESPN. In fact, he'll be joining us next week to hopefully be talking about the Browns in the playoffs. Jake Trotter says the Browns have completed contact tracing, and they are set to begin practice in about a half hour. That was a half hour ago. So as of right now, the Cleveland Browns are officially practicing. I don't know what that means as far as the guys such as Jarvis Landry, in that cast of guys that missed last week's game. We'll get more, keep you updated on that the more we hear as far as that goes. Last thing here on Facebook, more reaction. Vincent Waller says, yes, Lamar hasn't had any success in the playoffs, but Baker has never been there. This Sunday against the Steelers B squad is his first taste of the playoffs, and if he can't be careful with the ball, he will blow it. Your rankings are based on fandom, not reality. The Browns just lost to the Ravens and the JV Jets. Yes, the Browns lost to the Ravens, and as I mentioned, that came down whoever had the ball last. If they play again at that point, the Ravens couldn't stop Baker Mayfield. They could not. It wasn't just the run game they couldn't stop. They couldn't stop Baker Mayfield. Like, Baker doesn't get any credit when he plays well, and it drives me up the wall. People just seem to forget that. But when he plays bad, my God, you guys know everything about Baker. But, but no, Vincent is right. He drops the ball and fumbles the ball. That's it. Like, when you make those mistakes when you're winning, it's easy to overlook them. But when you fumble the ball, when you have a 4th and 1, it's quarterback sneak. That's on Baker's shoulders. Although I don't look at that loss completely as a typical Browns loss, mainly because, again, COVID impacts that game. That's why I'm not like, when I'm doing my top 10 heading in, I'm ranking the Browns as in who they are when they're completely put together. If the Browns don't have their guys heading in to this week, the Browns aren't even a top 15 team in the NFL if they don't have Jarvis Landry, Rashard Higgins, and Donovan Peoples-Jones. So keep that in mind. I will be consistent there. But no, this is not based on fandom. The Browns offensively are just as good, if not better, than half the teams in the AFC. Only the Bills and the Chiefs are the only team in the AFC that I would not take, or that I would not take the Browns over. The Browns could be every team in the AFC, so I don't think this is my fandom speaking. I think that the Ravens have not played good football as of late. They're getting a little bit better, but I think the Browns have been better despite losing. I know that's crazy. That's crazy, but it's not like they shut down Baker in the offense and they beat, both teams played bad and the Ravens came out on top. Offensively, that's how the Browns are going to win.
Game of the year. It was the game of the year, man.
Defense. Oh, well, that defense. They're not going to stop Patrick Mahomes. What defense is? What defense is going to stop Patrick?
No, I'm down to 17 last week.
No. And again, playoff. We'll see if playoff Mahomes comes into play. But I'm just saying, like, that's right there.
The switch.
So, Vincent, I get why you're saying, hey, it's it's a fandom, not reality. No, I think there is a lot of reality in this. The Browns, the last month and a half offensively, one of the best teams in football.
The reality of the situation is, man, the NFL is set up perfectly. The NFL is set up to be like this. This isn't college football where you have 2-3 elite powers dominating the sport every year after year, and then you got like somebody playing at fourth fiddle, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, who's going to come in here and get their teeth kicked in by one of the 3 big dogs real quick and let us sort it out. The NFL is, as you can see in the AFC, there's 4 teams that are 10-5 right now, and none of them are in the playoffs. 5 teams. 10-4 right now. 10-5.
None of them have clinched anything.
None of them in the playoffs. That means somebody's going to miss the playoffs. I think we look at what's going on at the NFC least and everything like that. We laugh and say a team below 500 is going to make the playoffs. But at the end of the day, the Washington football team has some good wins on their resume. The Giants went out to Seattle and won a football game. So this is the league, man. This is how it's set up. Like, I know it's very cliche about on any given Sunday, anybody can beat anybody, but that's literally how the NFL is set up. Like, the days of, somebody running the table 16-0. And I mean, you look at the Chiefs, they only lost 1 game. They're probably going to lose this week because they ain't starting their players like you talked about. But the league is just not set up for teams to just like multiple teams to be out here 12-4. It's just not set up that way. It's 53 of the best NFL players on each team.
All right, 457-9464 is the number to call into the show. We're officially going to open up the phone lines here. Kev, you can kill that music. A conversation I want to get into coming up around the corner. And that wraps up our top 10 NFL teams again. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here. I'm seeing a lot of leagues, like Major League Baseball came out and announced that they're going to wait their turn for the vaccine, that they are not going to allow their professional athletes to jump the line for those waiting to get the vaccine. And I am curious from sports fans, because I'm going to be very honest with you, if professional athletes got to jump to the front of the line to get this vaccine, and again, I don't want to get into a deep conversation about whether you are even going to get the vaccine or what you think, they're not going to put a chip in my body and blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to get into any of that stuff. So keep that ignorance out of this conversation. That's all I got to say. I'm just, from a sports standpoint, would it bother you? Would you be that offended if professional athletes jump to the front of the line to start getting this vaccine? I am curious. Would that bother you? As we sit here and wait our turn to be told when we can go get this vaccine to protect us against this pandemic, I'm curious, would it bother you if while you're waiting your turn, all of a sudden you see breaking news, every Major League Baseball player can get this vaccine before you, every NFL player, college basketball? How would you feel? Would that bother you? Would you be okay if professional athletes and even college athletes got the green light to go get this vaccine to allow them to be able to play sports professionally and, of course, provide you your entertainment? Let's be clear. Let's not act like we're not getting anything out of this either. If 2020 taught us anything, it's that you can play during a pandemic, but it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Players, could be wiped out. Position groups could be wiped out. So as a fan, how bothered would you be if some of these athletes got to jump to the front of the line to get this vaccine? 457-9464. We'll discuss on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon is going to be cloudy and windy with rain, a high near 52. Tonight's also going to be cloudy and windy with rain and snow, a low around 30. And tomorrow will be mostly cloudy, a high near 38. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
That's the sound of NyQuil Severe hard at work. NyQuil Severe is the best sleep with a cold medicine. No tossing and turning, just rest and recovery. So you're ready to take on tomorrow. For powerful relief of your worst cold and flu symptoms, try NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. To keep surfaces sanitized all day, use Microban 24 sanitizing spray. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria initially, including the virus that causes COVID-19. Once dry, Microban 24 sanitizing spray is effective for 24 hours on bacteria when used as directed.
Why so serious? So raise your glass if you are wrong and all the right.
Spilled your drink? Quick! The Quicker Picker-Upper. Bounty picks up spills and messes quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading value brand. So you can get back to the party. Bounty, the Quicker Picker-Upper.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Every home needs a reliable thermometer for twice-a-day temperature readings. Protect your family with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the only home thermometer used by hospitals, physicians, and clinics.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
Save on all of your home improvement projects with Menards. From framing and roofing nailers to finish and brad nailers, Menards has a large selection of Metabo HPT air nailers to choose from to help you get the job done. The 18-gauge pneumatic brad nailer is ideal for trim work, furniture building, and other finish applications. Stop waiting and start saving now at Menards. Prices are good through January 2nd.
Save big money at Menards.
New year, new job, new pay rates. Rittal North America LLC in Urbana has immediate openings seeking experienced assembly operators, welders, machine operators, paint unloaders, and paint loaders. Rittal offers a minimum starting wage of $15.30 per hour with a $1 shift differential for second and third shifts, monthly attendance bonus, and benefits starting on the first of the month after hire. If interested, please email Katie McKee your resume at mckee.k@rittal.us. Rittal is proud to be an affirmative action and equal opportunity employer.
Does learning a language feel like this?
No habla español? Hablo. It's hablo? Yes. It's hablo.
Bon dia, like good day, good morning, I think.
I can say je m'appelle David, but that's probably it.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
This year is my year to get fluent in Spanish, and Babbel is definitely going to help me do that. The app is so easy to use, and it's so practical. It helps you learn things that you will actually need.
Since my husband is from Guatemala, I'll apply what I've learned in Babbel to our real life situations.
I've tried other language learning apps and nothing really stuck. Babbel's been a complete game changer for me.
Hoy es miércoles y el clima está muy bueno afuera.
Estoy con fome. No tomé café de mañana.
Je suis des États-Unis et du Vion-tu.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com, Babbel.com.
What's in store this week at Staples?
Everything you need to start the year right.
Whether you meet at the office or on a video chat.
Or whether your commute is now measured in feet rather than miles.
Staples has everything you need, like home office furniture, the latest tech, and organizational supplies at amazing prices.
And now at Staples, 2021 dated desk pads are just $3.99.
Shop in store or pick up curbside.
Get a fresh start this year with big savings from Staples. Ends 1/2/21 while supplies last. Curbside available in most stores. Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your car insurance with Wright, which rewards you for safe driving.
As the world's most careful driver, that's perfect. Now apply 2 pounds of force for acceleration. You really turning in 0.3 miles and begin deceleration.
With Liberty Mutual's Wright, you could earn up to 30% savings based on how you drive. Sign up at libertymutual.com/RightTrack.
Liberty.
Discount on participating vehicles. Base coverages only. Availability varies.
Make sure your family doesn't have a fever by taking their temperatures both before dinner and in the morning. Stay safe with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the #1 preferred thermometer of pediatricians.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. So the funny thing is we are about heading into the final week of the regular season of the National Football League. Although there has been many roadblocks and speed bumps along the way, every game that is scheduled to play this year in the 2020 NFL season has been played. And that speaks volumes about, what the job that the NFL has done. Look, they are a PR nightmare. The NFL is always a PR nightmare. They get in their way more times than not in a lot of things. However, they've handled this pretty flawlessly in regards to taking some flack for being stubborn and how they were going to do this. I'm very surprised during a pandemic to have all of these bodies flying all over the country every single week. You have, again, just being around each other daily, going home to your home lives and whatever your family is bringing from their everyday lives to you, and then you taking it back. And the fact that we didn't see more outbreaks, to be honest. People get so negative about it. I'm just like, hey, look, this could be way worse. It could have been way worse. This is the fact, and I need to kind of hold up a little bit, is the playoffs, the most important time of the year coming up. But in my team, the Browns, the latest team to be really heavily impacted by it with their game last week against the Jets, and still could be impacted by it with their game with the Steelers coming up this week. But keep in mind that, we're well on our way to crowning a Super Bowl champion this year. We're going to, we have a World Series champion. We've had 2 NBA seasons in one calendar year. We've crowned an NBA champion, NHL. There's, football, college. We're heading into the college football playoffs. So we're moving along just fine. I shouldn't say just fine. We're moving along. But it has been stressful. As fans, you and I have talked about this in the past. Has this year been fun? It hasn't been fun for me as a Buckeye fan this year, but I feel like going through the misery that we did from the time that the Big Ten initially canceled the season all the way up to the build-up to the college football playoff, to me, it's going to be worth it come Friday night. When I sit down to watch Clemson and Ohio State, you can ask me, was this season fun? No, it has not been fun. It has not been enjoyable. The Big Ten, I will never look at the same again. I think that the Big Ten, honestly, that's the one conference coming out of this that is really going to take the biggest PR hit for everything, whether it's right or wrong. But it's impacted me on that, but overall, I'm going to enjoy it. But it was not fun. And the thing is, we don't know when we're going to see a lot of fans back in the stands moving forward for professional sports, by the way. There are some fans in the stands. I know the Cleveland Cavaliers just announced yesterday that they've increased their fan attendance total by 10%. So I think they're up to like 1,600 fans now, Kev, if I'm not mistaken. So we're starting to see some gradual increases as far as fan attendance is concerned. But you're not going to see fans at these college football playoff games, the national title game, or there will be fans, limited fans, I'm sorry, mostly friends or mostly close friends and family. But keep in mind that if we have proved that we can have sports during a pandemic, but do you want to do it all over again? Do you want to go through all this again? We're about to start another baseball season here in a few months. Remember how much hell that was last year? Right. We're about to do it all over again. You still have to have the players union and Major League Baseball come together to have an agreement to play during a pandemic once again. It's Kev, we're going to do this all over again. The NBA, right now we're off and rolling. The games are being played. Some are being postponed, but will we get to a point where they have to put a halt to that a little bit if too many games start being impacted? My point is that do we want to do this all over again? Yes, we proved we could do it, but if there's an easier way for sports to happen, wouldn't you as a fan want it to happen? Even if it means preferential treatment for these athletes. You mean to tell me, oh, no, we can't have preferential treatment for these athletes. They're one of us. No, they're not. They don't live the same way as you. They may come from a background similar to yours, but they don't wake up and live the same life that we do. We don't know what it's like to walk a day in their shoes. They don't know what it's like to walk a day in our shoes, or they maybe used to, but not anymore. There's not a whole lot of correlation or connection between fans and athletes. They live a completely different life than we do. That's not a shot at them. More power to them. Congratulations. They've earned it. They've earned it. Their talent's got them there. So of course they get preferential treatment. They get preferential treatment in everything, right? Money always gets you preferential treatment in everything. That's how the world works. All right, let's just be clear. So let me ask you, I'm seeing a lot of leagues come out, the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, saying we will wait our turn. The athletes, the NBA players, Major League Baseball, we will not jump the line to get this vaccine. We will wait our turn. And I'm curious, fans, had the league said, you know what, forget it. If they're offering us to allow us to keep going, we're going to go ahead and allow our athletes to get the vaccine earlier than regular civilians. That's not fair. They're just like us. No, they're not. We depend on them more than they depend on us. And you can argue they depend on us from a financial standpoint. But the bottom line is we depend on them for our everyday entertainment. Let's just call it what it is. It's true. I laugh when people get so worked up, like when Joe Burrow got hurt. And anyone said, when I came out and I said, well, Joe Burrow doesn't deserve that to happen, but the Bengals organization does for ignoring the fact that they didn't get the offensive line figured out to protect him. I got lit up for that. How could that so heartless? Stop. You're crying over an athlete that doesn't give two rips about you. They don't know you. They don't know what you go through. You think if you break your ankle that Joe Burrow is going to be sitting there crying and upset that you broke it? Stop. We need to stop doing this thing where we over-romanticize these athletes. They are who they are. They are our entertainment. It's okay to say that because you could try to spin it to say it in a nice way that they're not. They are. Period. That's why we get mad when they opt out of contracts. You get mad when they don't go to the team you want. You get mad if the team overpays them. I sit there and say things like, oh, they shouldn't be, the Cowboys shouldn't pay Dak Prescott this. He's not worth this. Why does it matter? If he gets paid $10 more million than what I think he's worth, what is that? Why do I care about that? I do, but I shouldn't, right? Like, why do we as fans care? Because we don't look at them as regular people.
Right.
Would I tell Dak Prescott that to his face? Probably not. I'm a coward. I wouldn't sit there. If he was sitting right here, I wouldn't tell Dak Prescott, dude, you're not worth $35 million, man. Like, but it's easy for me to say that in a little small city like Dayton. I can say it, right? Let's stop, folks. Like, I would not be upset at all if Major League Baseball said, you know what? Last year was such a train wreck of trying to get this season off on time. And it was such a nightmare on a daily basis of not knowing what was going to happen next. We're going to go ahead and have our players get the vaccine so that they can have the season. And if you fans, if you act at all like that is selfish of them, you don't know what you're talking. They are playing for our entertainment. To act like you wouldn't benefit from these players taking this vaccine to have a full season to try to return to normalcy as much as possible, I don't believe you. I think that Kev, I would have no issue whatsoever if Major League Baseball came out and said the athletes can jump to the front of the line to get this vaccine. The NBA, they come out and say the same thing. College football says, you know what, as we start the college football playoff, which, by the way, it's just a few days away, so it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But if they would have said a month ago, all college football bowl eligible teams, their athletes are going to get this vaccine so that they can be ready to go heading into the postseason. The NFL, hey, every playoff team, not only do you clinch a playoff berth, you also clinch a vaccine. You're all going to get the vaccine so that we don't have to be worried and stressed about this thing. Although there are some unknowns with the vaccine, as again, we're in the early stages, but you see my point. So for me, Kev, I would have no issue with it. I would have no issue with it whatsoever if these sports leagues came out and said, all right, the athletes can jump to the front of the line to get this vaccine. Because to act like me and you wouldn't benefit from them doing that, that's laughable. We would benefit from it because we would be watching every game that would be going on without a hitch because of the vaccine. Your thoughts?
What do you think the reaction would be if our government allowed the sports franchises to buy the vaccine for their players and everything like that? What do you think the fan reaction would be?
I think you're always, look, you'll never have a universal reaction. You'll never have everyone on the same page. You're going to have your pocket of people that, they find a problem with everything. Nothing's fair. There's going to be people that are upset about it. But I really don't think in our everyday lives, do I really think that, man, if it wasn't for LeBron James, I could have had my vaccine by now. Like, I just think that that's very dramatic, big scheme of things. Like, when we're talking about 500 athletes jumping to the front of the line versus millions of people, what fraction of vaccines are actually going to the athletes that are actually being taken away? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just saying. To me, it wouldn't bother me. I'm not. If it bothers you, fine. It just wouldn't bother me. I don't think it impacts my life one way or another. Now, maybe if I'm 60 years old and I'm fearing for my health and my safety in my life, maybe I'm looking at it different. But for me at 30 years old, no. Let these guys get this vaccine so that they can get the season started so that I can be entertained. And selfishly, I can continue making money talking about sports, because if they put that on pause, I can't go through another summer talking about what's going to happen. When will the season start? Roger Goodell's a boo, bro. Like, I don't want to do that again. So please, let's get this season started on time.
Yeah, I gotta be perfectly honest. I don't know. And I know that's like not the way to do a radio show and everything like that. Plus, I have an opinion about everything, but I just don't know. I look at everything that's going on, and I won't get too political, but the things that happen in our government where, government officials, they're getting the vaccine out of order. You know what I'm saying? There's supposed to be an order and an age bracket that gets the vaccine, where we have younger Congress people getting the vaccine.
This was the time to get young people in Congress. Right. There was ever a time that you have an excuse of, let's get rid of the old people out of Congress and let's get some young new blood in. This was the time to do it. Not keep them in there longer.
Yeah, we got people our age that are in Congress getting the vaccine out of turn. Right now it's supposed to be people of the age of retirees, like 65. I believe my mom is coming up very soon to be eligible to get her vaccine, and she's a retired nurse, and she says she's going to get it and everything like that. But, so I look at it like that. So I look at it and say, what would be the difference? We got Congress people and people that work for the government getting it out of order. So what would be the difference of LeBron or Steph Curry getting it out of
Yeah, to be honest, LeBron James does more for me in my everyday life than Nancy Pelosi does. I'm just throwing that out there. Like I'm more upset that she gets the vaccine before me than I am LeBron getting it before me. Let's just put it that way. Like, what's Nancy Pelosi got with $600? That's what I got for so there's that.
Mitch McConnell was happy.
By the way, nothing makes Americans sound more entitled being pissed off by getting only $600, but I'm just I'm just
what happened to that 2 racks, man? What happened to that 2 racks? I thought we was gonna get 2 racks. To be perfectly honest, I don't know, man. I really don't have an opinion about it one way or another. I would like to think that it would be a good look for these leagues to say we're gonna advise our athletes to wait their turn, their age turn, just for PR purposes, because like you talked about earlier, the NFL is always under a PR attack.
Yep.
All the time, from every angle, every which way. And I think that would be kind of like a quote unquote good gesture. But the NFL, when's the last time they done like a good gesture? They're always about their money and always about their schedule. So I think that they would encourage their athletes of their teams, franchises, to get the vaccine as soon as humanly possible. And if that means them cutting the line, I think the NFL will do it.
Big Ben's eligible for it, right?
Tom Brady is.
There you go.
So is Drew Brees.
All right, folks, we'll be back in a moment. In fact, we're going to open up the phone lines now. I'm curious people's thoughts. Like, again, not making light of this, but again, you can't always have such a serious tone. I mean, that's a miserable way to live life, to always just be so uptight about everything. Like, I am kind of, curious though. Like, I see all these statements from these commissioners saying, hey, you know what? We're not going to jump the line. It wouldn't bother me if they did. They're providing us entertainment. They're providing us something selfishly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just wouldn't have an issue with it. So there's that. But I'm curious our listeners' thoughts. 457-9464. What am I missing?
And you also got to think, like, when these franchises and these athletes get the vaccine, that means potentially quicker chances we open the doors and be able to get back into facilities for us to go to sporting events.
Yep.
Hence means there's people working the concession stands. There's people tearing the tickets at the front lines and everything like that. So that means potentially people get their jobs back. That means, more revenue generated. People have jobs. People have money in their pocket. People are able to feed their kids and pay their rent and mortgages and everything like that. There is definitely a trickle down effect of when franchises like the NFL and the NBA are open.
Yeah, and by the way, we've already seen where athletes get preferential treatment anyways, just based on testing, the quality of testing, the Big Ten, the testing that they got. Like, I mean, not just the Big Ten, but all, whatever, even locally here, there's tests made available quicker to the athletes around here locally at the college level and even at the pros than just us. So, I mean, it wouldn't be that unheard of that professional athletes get preferential treatment. Yes. And it is what your opinion on that is going to vary. I get that. But like, selfishly, we want there to be sports. I'm just saying. I don't know. But I'm curious people's thoughts. 457-9464. If you don't want to call in, but you want to have your opinion be read or heard, head to Facebook, search The Justin Kinner Show. You'll find the live video feed there and leave it in the comment section, and we'll read it live when we come back. Don't go anywhere. More of The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash next. One more time. Would it really bother you if professional athletes and college athletes got the vaccine? If they jumped to the front of the line to get this vaccine, would it bother you? Because Roger Goodell says we're going to wait our turn. We're not going to, we're not asking for preferential treatment. I'm asking for them to have preferential treatment. I want a damn season, right? But again, I'm probably thinking very narrow-minded in regards to the sports landscape, but I'm sure there's more to this than that. I'm curious people's thoughts. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on ESPN 1410 Wing AM. WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
O'Reilly. This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it
Liberty, 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 liberty. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
A sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sport performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
If your family depends on your income and something happened to you, what would happen to them? You need life insurance, and SelectQuote can help you get it at a price you can afford.
SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, who's in excellent health, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month.
Not in perfect health? Don't worry.
SelectQuote found Tanya, 40, who has type 2 diabetes, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $32 a month.
We shop companies like Protective, Prudential, American General, and others to find you the company with the best rates. Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford.
For your free quote, call 1-800-982-1818. That's 1-800-982-1818. Or go to selectquote.com. That's 1-800-982-1818.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me, makes me cry.
Oh, wow, that's remarkable. That's right. Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight, stop smoking, or end anxiety for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. Because of coronavirus, seminars are now online, live Thursday, January 7th or Saturday, January 9th for Dayton. Area details at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Make sure your family doesn't have a fever by taking their temperatures both before dinner and in the morning. Stay safe with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the #1 preferred thermometer of pediatricians.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield 800-687-5192. Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield 800-687-5192. Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? We can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield 800-687-5192.
For official contest rules, go to wingam.com and click on contests.
If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Get quality candidates delivered from Indeed's resume database immediately when you upgrade your job post. Learn more at Indeed.com/credit.
All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, we welcome you back. Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Don't miss the Buckeyes take on Clemson this Friday night in the Sugar Bowl as the college football playoffs officially kick off the new year. Coverage starts at 6:30 with kickoff at 8 p.m. right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN radio. And then, of course, you can also catch the game on our sister station on 92.9 Jack FM. So we got in the conversation about the vaccines, and I saw Rob Manfred released a statement on multiple occasions, including Roger Goodell, the NFL, and even Adam Silver, the NBA, about that they will not have their athletes jump to the front of the line to get this vaccine. I get if you're already in mid-season why that would make sense, but if you're Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, I get why he's trying to protect the image of the league of not trying to jump in front of the line. I know it's a very serious time in not just our country but our world right now when it comes to this pandemic. So with that being said, I don't intend to come off insensitive here, but to act like it would be just that horrible for Major League Baseball to say, yes, our athletes are going to get this vaccine, to act like, it's just a sport, it's just baseball. They just throw a ball around, they just swing a bat. Yes, if you're going to simplify it down to that, yes, it's technically just a sport. But to act, and this is why I laugh, though, is we want to complain, but to act like we don't benefit from that little game with the ball that's thrown around.
Right.
we benefit from that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little. I'm simplifying it a little bit too much. It just wouldn't bother me. If I open my phone for the first time, it's a breaking news: Major League Baseball players all get the vaccine, despite the criteria needed to get the vaccine. It wouldn't bother me at all. But I understand those who it would bother. As for me, maybe I'm not as worried about me catching it. But if I'm in my 50s or 60s or 70s, yes, I would probably be like, okay, that's crap. I'm here waiting for my vaccine to keep me safe and alive, and this 20-year-old millionaire is getting it over me. So I could see both sides to it. I definitely could.
Yeah, you also got to think about it from this side. As look at the Super Bowl ratings. Super Bowl does huge ratings every year. But you know what also does huge ratings? Counter programming, those movies that come on Lifetime. There's so many people out here that don't care anything about sports. I think sometimes sports fans, we live in our own bubble and think that everybody thinks this way.
No
think
pun
that
intended.
everybody right thinks that everybody is locked in to every bowl game, every national championship game, every game that's going on in the NBA, and we just don't think people don't care about sports like that. It's so many people that could care less about sports. So those people matter too in the grand scheme of things. During the break, I was thinking about it. I guess I wouldn't care personally because, like you said,
It's actually a small number, though. It's a really small number.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. It's a small number of people that actually would get it because there's 500 NBA players or something like that, and then maybe
there's 500 NFL players.
Okay, that's right.
I think it's smaller for the NBA.
It's 500 NFL players, and then it's like 250 NBA players, and then you probably throw in another 250 for the NHL. But it's a small number, as you guys got to weigh the cost, pros and cons of the situation, saying how much money do these pro sports generate for our country versus us giving them the vaccines and people being upset. So it's a cost and analysis that goes on between those things.
Yeah, and keep in mind, when you think about per state, they're jumping in line of people who some states don't even have NFL, NBA teams, some cities, whatever. So for the state of Ohio, we're talking the Reds, the Blue Jackets, the Browns, Bengals. If we're just going to use pro teams, we're talking a combined total athletes between all of them, maybe 250 between all athletes for all those pro sports teams. And I'm rounding high, I think. Is with the millions of vaccines coming into each state. If 250 athletes in the state of Ohio jump to the front of the line to take it, I don't see it hurting anything. I just don't. Now, again, I'm maybe oversimplifying it because there's people in the car saying that's 250 people who need it that should be getting this. So again, I get it, but big picture, I'm I don't know.
Random question. This is vaccine related though. How many people do you know that says when the vaccine is available for their age bracket, they're 100% taking it?
I don't know a lot of people who are saying that they're going to get it. And my thing is that so when you're afraid to take this vaccine, or the fear of what happening, is that worse than what could happen if you catch the virus? That's what you have to ask yourself.
Right.
I always get bothered. I hear people say, "Oh no, you take a vaccine, you get autism." Well, so there's vaccines out there,
right,
to help save your life or something. So you would rather be dead than have autism. My brother has autism. He's a pretty cool damn kid. I love my brother with everything in me. I love him to death. So you would rather be dead or whatever than have someone like my brother. That's weird to me. I've never understood that mindset. That you can't take this vaccine. You might catch it could cause autism. Okay, but if you don't, it beats the alternative of potentially dying. That's the I've never understood that mindset.
I know so many
stick to sports.
Real quick, I know so many people that say they aren't going to take the vaccine, and then I'm like, I'm in a group that says I'm going to take it. I just want to see what happens first. And then I have a real good friend who's recently married, and him and his wife we're talking about having kids and everything like that, but then COVID broke out, and then now the vaccine is here. So they're talking well, we're going to have to wait it out even longer because we don't know what this vaccine does to a female's body and stuff like that. So it's a lot of things that go into it. And furthermore, the players obviously have a choice if they're going to get the vaccine or not. You can't just say you got to get it or you're not playing in the NBA or NHL or NFL or anything like that. So that's another thing they got to consider.
All right, let's go to we have time for a call. Who do we have?
We got McKinney.
McKinney, welcome in, sir. How are you?
Tremendous, my friend.
Thank you for being patient, by the way. We appreciate it.
No, it's okay. I love having a few minutes to listen to absolutely ridiculousness, it just brings joy to my face. I don't understand how you could say that you would want somebody to jump in front of the line. I'm seeing you get mad at a guy getting in front of you getting chicken wings. So how are you going to get mad at somebody jumping in line? No, it's not. It's more than 500 people getting it, because then you have to do the entire organization, the facility, of ball boys, people that work in the office. It is not just a few athletes jumping the line. Since all of these vials and vaccines are radio controlled numbered, so say a vial that went to the front office of the Cincinnati Bengals. That vial was the vial that was supposed to go to your grandmother. Your grandmother catches COVID and dies. You go back and you trace the numbers that the reason your grandmother died because that vial went to the Cincinnati Bengals instead of your grandmother. I don't think you'll feel good about that. Sports are a reward for a decent and viable society. It is not the society is built upon the layer of sport and it works its way down. It does not trickle down like that. It is a reward. It's a reward when you're in school that you got cut for the team or you couldn't play because you didn't make the grades or you didn't make the classes. It is a reward. It is not the end all and be all, gentlemen. I want people to wait in line to where they're supposed to be, because the reason when you do that, it shows that there is some type of order in life. My son, he's 32, and at 7, I asked him, he'll say, Sean, what's the number one rule in life? It said, life is not fair. And once you understand that life is not fair, sometimes things happen. And whether somebody's a professional athlete, I don't give a damn, because I've never treated them any different when I've met them in person, been around them, because they are no different. Sure, they provide a little bit of entertainment, but that's all they do. Well, I'm supposed to give up my place in line for the vaccine for some guy that's going to be in bankruptcy court in 4.5 years out of the league? I don't think so.
All right. Well, there you go. I mean, McKinney, thank you. I mean, started off with an insult, came in swinging. First of all, I've never got
over chicken.
I know I need people to take the chicken from me, so he's lying there. I would never get mad for someone jumping in front of me to take food from me. I need people to help take food away from me so I don't overeat. Like I would be happy with that. No, look, McKinney's not wrong. That's why I wanted to have this conversation, because there's multiple ways to look at it. That's why I said I'm oversimplifying it to me, but like to me. If I think, oh man, the athletes are getting it, they're taking a vaccine from me. I don't have the urgency to go get that vaccine. So for me, it's like, I'm not angry if the athletes get it before me, but again, it changes from person to person. Mm-hmm. So I get it. Every situation is different, but ultimately big picture, I mean, McKinney just said, well, life's not fair. Nothing's fair about any of this. But I mean, look, preferential treatment, you mean to tell me the testing is not being done differently and handled differently for the pro athletes and all that? Like, I don't know. It just wouldn't bother me. It is what it is. It is what we're all just sitting here patient. I'm just going to sit here and wait my turn. When they say go get it, I'll go get it. After that, whatever. I don't know if I'm going to start growing a tail or have magical powers. So I might be I could be a wizard.
Harry Potter.
Be like, yeah, that was just a Harry Potter world 2 weeks ago. I mean, being a wizard would be pretty cool. The flying stuff. All right, we'll be back in a moment. Don't go anywhere. More of the Justin Kinder Show with Kevin Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon is going to be cloudy and windy with rain. A high near 52. Tonight's also going to be cloudy and windy with rain and snow. A low around 30. And tomorrow will be mostly cloudy. A high near 38. I'm Pete Spy back for 1410 ESPN Radio.
A sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the
recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your car insurance with Wright, which rewards you for safe driving.
As the world's most careful driver, that's perfect. Now applying 2 pounds of force for acceleration. You're really turning in 0.3 miles and begin deceleration.
With Liberty Mutual's Wright, you could earn up to 30% savings based on how you drive. Sign up at libertymutual.com/RightTrack.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Discount on participating vehicles, base coverages only. Availability varies.
Last night's sleep? Interrupted by pain? Tonight, silence it with new ZQL Night Pain. Restful sleep, now with powerful pain relief. ZQL Night Pain combines America's #1 sleep aid with a maximum strength pain reliever. So you can fall asleep fast and wake feeling rested, because pain should never get in the way of a great night's sleep. New ZQL Night Pain. Silence pain. Sleep soundly. Available at retailers near you.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel. Language for life. Start the new year with a new language. Get up to 60% off now at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
The holidays are here, and Rob's Beer Barn is stocked with the newest seasonal refreshments, and they're going fast. Pick up your specialty beers before they're gone. Rob's Beer Barn has you covered for all your gatherings with ice-cold refreshments, craft, imported, local, and seasonal beers, fine wines, snacks, and ice. Rob's has it all, and for last-minute items, you can call, walk in, or drive through. Stop in and visit Rob's and stock up today. Rob's Beer Barn on Indian Ripple Road at Darst, just a mile east of the Green. Rob's Beer Barn. Look for the beaver.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
What can help you take advantage of today's low mortgage rates and save money? Rocket can. You could save hundreds of dollars every month by refinancing with Rocket Mortgage at today's near historic low rates. If your current rate is over 4%, with today's low rates, you could lower your payment by over $150 a month, saving thousands in interest every year. With a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, you could consolidate and pay off high-interest debt, tackle home improvements that could add value to your home, or even set aside cash for your child's future education. We've already helped over 1 million clients folks just like you reach their home financing goals this year alone. So remember this. What can give you the technology to refinance easily and save money? Rocket can. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Savings are based on quick loans, term data, points and fees may apply. Offer cost information and conditions. Equals letter, license in all 50 states, and LLC 3
Every home needs a reliable thermometer for twice-a-day temperature readings. Protect your family with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the only home thermometer used by hospitals, physicians, and clinics.
Mary's Bistro delivery business is bustling and ready to burst.
Orders 34, 35, and 36 are up. Who's handling these? Hello, Mary's Bistro, now delivering.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Get organized and save big money with help from Menards and Closet Made. Closet Made has the shelf and closet kits that are able to help in any storage situation and keep your home neat and tidy. Great for hanging clothes, storing sweaters, or keeping your shoes in order. Stop